Can you hear me from back here?
Less, but yes.
See, like when I handheld the mic, I didn't have these problems.
I know. And it was so much more theatrical. Now you're just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah. Now I'm not even a comedian. I'm just a podcaster.
Oh, man.
Hi, guys. Welcome back to Laps Down Podcast. My name is Andrea.
And I'm MJ.
Hi, everyone. Sorry we weren't here last week. Did you miss us?
I missed you guys. I wish you could all be here with us right now.
Yeah, we actually were like talking earlier this week and we were like, we are so excited to film the podcast. We're not born to take a week off, I don't think. I don't think we're good at it because the whole time we were like, the next podcast that we film, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about this.
It felt weird, but I think we needed a break just in general, but also I didn't realize how many weeks we are on.
We're like
we've only taken like one other week.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. I think like last year, well, we haven't even hit 1 year of Laps Down yet, but I think we've taken maybe in total like 1 week off. And even then, when we do take weeks off, we do try to give you guys some content. So hopefully you watched our little sketch challenge video. I think it was fun to film. I think it was fun to watch. I don't know. I had fun doing it. We did get a wonderful suggestion from Sky, I believe, that was to do a filming of us drawing. And I was like, no, that actually is a wonderful idea. I think we were limited by the producer of this podcast not being maybe the most technically advanced person.
I think we were limited by how excited we were to do it. And we were like, because there was part of me who was like, there's definitely a way I could rig up something so that you could see what I was drawing. But I was like, but that's going to take so much time. And I really just want to draw with my friend Andrea. So I do think the excitement kind of got to me. Yeah.
We just want to express ourselves artistically. You guys understand?
Yeah, and boy, did we.
Boy, did we. So the apology video will be coming soon for that video.
Mm-hmm.
But hopefully you guys watch it. If you haven't, recommend you going back and watching it. And I guess, leave us a 5-star review if you haven't. Be sure to follow us if you're not. And we can get right to it if you want, unless you have any other admin notes, MJ.
Nope, I didn't even put a section in for admin notes. That's how few admin notes I had.
Period. We run a tight ship around here at Laps Down.
Mm-hmm.
If you want admin, you got to put it in the notes. We're going to start a little bit with F1. Not a lot going on in F1, obviously, because of summer break. If you are new to motorsports, F1 has a pretty stern summer break. They have like an actual time where like you have to not be working on your car, not working on driver contracts, not working on sim. Like literally everybody goes on vacation, strictly enforced.
Mm-hmm.
They all go on yachts though. And I have come to the conclusion, like I understand yachts are fun if you have one. I don't understand that. I've never been on a yacht, but I can imagine they are. It does get to a point though where I'm like, y'all are so rich. Like you could go anywhere in the world. Why the fuck are we always just hanging out in the ocean playing mermaids? You know what I mean? Like it's like go on a real vacation.
Yeah,
Please.
Go to the Wisconsin Dells.
Do something like a real family would. You know what I mean?
7 Flags. 6 Flags?
Yeah.
7 Flags.
7 Flags is the one that you went to. It was a weird knockoff one, but your parents didn't have the heart to tell you. Everyone else is going to 6 Flags. Yours was just the county fair. They called it 7 Flags. I don't know. I just like personally, there's only so many things you can do on a boat. It doesn't quite make sense. I wouldn't even, if I was like rich as these F1 drivers, I wouldn't even buy a yacht. I would just like rent a yacht or like charter a yacht if you wanted to do a yacht. Do you know what I'm saying?
And do they all own them? I guess I know
think
Max owns
5
one because
of them.
it has like a line. That's so like
I think Charles owns one. I think like Toto Wolff owns one. I think Esteban, the man of the people, he just charters his.
I love him.
And I'm like, thank you, Esteban, for being real.
I don't think I was born to be rich, clearly, because nothing about a yacht is appealing to me besides like we can take the yacht to places and then get off the yacht.
No, get off the, like, if you want like to transport yourself to an island using the yacht, fun. But like Also, it's just like they always are just like on like all their Instagrams, they're just on the yacht all day. Maybe I would love to see an episode of like Below Deck featuring an F1 driver to see what they're up to on these yachts.
My literal dream day is seeing, but I wouldn't want it to be someone who I thought was going to be like well behaved on the yacht. Like I don't want George Russell. I don't want Esteban Ocon. I want like a Lando Norris. I want like a Max Verstappen. I want like I feel like Isaac would be a bit of a problem, not because he would have like issues, but simply just because he would be like
a problem,
a child filled with wonder.
Yeah. I think like he would be the person that would like go to the chef or whatever at like 2 a.m. and be like, "Can I get a peanut butter and jelly?
Can you make me a grilled cheese and a Shirley Temple?"
He's off the clock, Isaac. You can't ask him all the time to make you a Shirley Temple. You know what I mean? You got to just eat when it's dinner time. Yeah, so that's good. So the only things that we really have for F1 news, this is a rumor. I've seen this rumor. I don't know how serious it is. The Christian Horner to Cadillac thing. Did you see any, like, where are people getting this from? Is there like, yeah, he's driving the car. Is there evidence?
Like F1 evidence or like real evidence? Because I didn't see any real evidence. I just saw like he has been confirmed in talks with Cadillac.
Sort of evidence I'm looking for is like maybe like ESPN F1 Instagram type evidence.
Oh yeah, like something like real solid ESPN F1.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of that. I was just kind of scraping something together for our F1 section.
No, I appreciate it. I think if he goes, I think, dislike. How about that? No, don't like. Not allowed. Although I will say it would be cool if they could hire somebody as the team principal. Maybe somebody as drivers. Who is running the team? Cadillac, questions that we would like answered whenever you get a chance. Just let us know.
I'm not even sure there's anybody there. Like the factory is just sitting there and you go in, there's nobody there.
I don't know. Maybe it was all a ruse. It was a big ruse. We got pranked,
dude, we got pranked.
Dude, we got freaking pranked. There is no Cadillac F1.
There is no swimming pool.
There's not even a house. Okay. Last thing on F1 news, and I saved the best for last, and it's also we had two things. So what if Logie Bear is employed? What if?
Oh my gosh.
Tell me about it.
I tell you this. Logan Sargent has been #confirmed employed. He is going to be racing in the final 2 races of the IMSA season with PR1 Matthiasen Motorsport in the LMP2 category. Very excited about it. It was announced like Thursday. On Wednesday, they dropped something and they were like, "Hey guys, just so you know, Logan Sargent signed with OGMM. Like, just so you know,
he's a manager."
Like, something to think about. And so we were all kind of like, I wonder if this means they're going to announce him for like IMSA one day. And then the next day they're like, guess what? IMSA. He's going to be there.
They work pretty fast. This management company, they worked pretty fast. They found him something. I was so
They're
confused.
really good.
Yeah, they didn't probably need to do the first announcement, right? The first one was like, it's not much.
They wanted credit for it. No, They wanted credit for it. OGMM wanted to be like, hey, you know what? We got Colin Braun. Now we have Logan Sargent. He's going to IMSA.
What's interesting is everybody was like, well, he did have like a seat in like Elms, but he kind of made it seem like that wasn't as concrete as we were told it was, and that he also like wanted to take a little mentee B, break. Sounds like it did numbers on him going through the F1 shenanigans, and he wanted some time off. And I think in an article they said he was just doing Florida tings because he's been relished to Europe for years. He's like, I just want to do Florida tings, sit on boats and fish. And now he's ready to drive again. Do you think did he have like a contract with Elms that he backed out of, or was that exaggerated?
He said that in the one article I saw. I guess I didn't do much digging. I was just like happy he was employed. It sounded like it wasn't like bound by a contract. So
he were lied to a little bit, I think.
Yeah. I mean, that'll happen in motorsports. Getting lied to in motorsports? Stop. But he'll be doing Battle on the Bricks, which happens in September. at IMS. So we will get him at IMS. Maybe next year he'll do the Indy 500. Hard to tell.
Yeah, maybe.
And
maybe
then
not for the last time.
He will also do Petit Lemon.
Petit Lemon. And I'm very excited. I obviously have been interested in watching IMSA more seriously for a while now. And I definitely think a lot of motorsports fans who only watch F1 will be interested to see what's next for Logan Sargent. And so I hope it does some numbers for IMSA viewership. I hope it gives them like a little boost. And I hope that Logie Bear enjoys his time being like a little celebrity now. He's like gonna be the talk of the town when he's walking around the IMSA paddock, and I'm quite excited for him. It's good. He deserves to feel a little bit like he was kind of done dirty by Williams. I think his confidence took a hit, but I don't think he's a bad driver, and I hope that he can like find something that makes him feel good again about driving. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, sounds like when he got out of the car after, because they're practicing at IMS this weekend, it sounded like he was a little bit like, yeah, there's definitely things that we could work on. Like, so true. Because he hasn't been in an LMP2 car since 2019.
Okay.
Don't think about it too much, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah. I can imagine some things changed since then.
Yeah. But I'm quite excited. I do watch IMSA. Like, I have watched most races this season. Never pay attention to the LMP2 category.
Oh, really?
At all. No.
I feel like that's the one I watch maybe the most, like, or pay the most attention to, because it's just easier to spot them out there.
No, because on TV, they, like, rarely talk about the LMP2 category, so I'm just like, if you're not going to talk about them, I'm not going to know about them. But I'll have to pay a little bit more attention now to that, like, electric blue car.
Yeah. I think I have a bad habit when I watch IMSA because I don't have any storylines that I'm particularly invested in, or like any drivers that I'm particularly invested in. I kind of just like watch it, but I feel like I don't retain any of it because I don't really feel any sort of way about anybody and how they finish in the race. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's like a weird thing about motorsports is like, I don't feel like I can tell you a single thing about a single race unless there was one particular person I was like engaging with and how their race was going. So maybe I'll just root for Logan.
Might as well. He's out there.
And you have 2 hats, 2 different colorways.
I have both colorways of the LS2 hats. I had to get one of them on eBay because it was sold out, and then he was fired. So,
you know how I know, like, I feel like the newest way I've like identified when somebody's career is maybe a problem is like the merch, and when they stop maybe making merch for somebody, or like you can feel like they're not making merch for this person because it doesn't seem too permanent. What's this? I don't think I've ever seen any Franco merch released. You know what I mean? That's how I've always been like, okay, Franco's never really been at Williams. They had like one little drop or something, and then they
had Franco merch at like Williams, but I don't think I've seen anything from Alpine as much. But then again, to be fair, I am not paying attention to Alpine.
Yeah.
Speaking of Franco, he crashed during testing.
Yeah, he crashed in a tire test, I believe. And I was like, that's a new one.
Tire test.
Haven't seen that one.
And they had to tell us because they had to tell it. They had to tell us he was okay. And I was like, oh, man, they couldn't even keep it to themselves that he crashed. Jack Doohan probably wouldn't have crashed, but I guess we'll never know.
You know what else we watched this last weekend that we didn't get a chance to talk about because we didn't have a podcast? Speaking of getting into IMSA, what if I told you I'm getting into Supercars? What if I told you that, MJ?
Huge if true.
Huge if true. Well, I did get a SuperView subscription, which is the little streaming platform that you can watch it on. And I had such a delightful time. And MJ loves Supercars a lot. And I have kind of always joked like, oh, like I'll be a good friend and watch Supercars. But I actually had a very delightful time. And according to my little notes app note that MJ made me with all my little Supercars need to knows, we are finished with the sprint part of the season and we're entering the endurance part of the season. And I was like, well, gosh darn it, I'm a little interested to see how this works. I don't really know how endurance racing works in supercars, but I do like the vibes of endurance racing, so maybe I'll tune in. What if we start talking about supercars a little bit on this podcast, y'all? What do you guys think? Oh my God, their silence means they like it. I think.
It's like Dora. What do you think? Yeah, we're going to have the supercars season format is like super weird, and I didn't realize how different it is until I had to like type it out to send it to Andrea. But like the first 25 races, because they'll do like 3 races in a weekend, are part of what is called the Sprint Cup, and those are like traditional races, whatever, what have you. And then there is a winner from the Sprint Cup, and that winner automatically goes to the finals. So the next portion after the Sprint Cup is the enduro races. So there's the Bend is the one that's coming up next. And then Bathurst 1000 that's the big one that everyone knows.
I know that one. I don't know the Bend. Not familiar.
Same weekend as Petit Le Mans. So there is potential for that to be just genuinely the most insane weekend ever, which I'm excited about. Just like 20 hours of racing in a row could be fun. And then they'll do the finals, which is just like 3 sections of races. I think so all at the same place.
They have like a vibe, like a playoff vibe?
It's kind of, but like no, but like kind of. It's not like NASCAR playoffs because like NASCAR playoffs are like done poorly and don't really make any sense. But it has like the essence of what playoffs could be if we tried and cared about our sport. We being the royal we for NASCAR, the France family.
We are part of that NASCAR we now. We're part of that.
Yeah.
That's like, oh my God, so beautiful. We're finally part of the community. Yeah, I had a great time. There was so much going on. I loved all the commentators, by the way, in Supercars. Go ahead and get all of them a job in American motorsports as soon as possible. I think that I had such a great time. There was some man who would stand in the pit lane, but like in where the cars were pulling in. Yeah. And I was like, are you going to move?
He did block a couple cars like actively coming in.
But I think that's
you just didn't notice.
They think like they genuinely are like, well, I think it's more important that the viewers get to be part of this. And I think that shows that they really love their audience. It was like crazy to me. They do 3 races in one weekend, like just in every aspect, like for the drivers, the mechanics, the just event goers. I was like, you guys are fucking clocked in. And then the craziest thing is that when you go on SuperView, if you watch the race the next day, because you don't want to stay up until 2:30 a.m., you get to see like there's like so many support series that they have. Like there was motorcycles racing around before supercars. I was like, dude, Australians are kicking it. They have the coolest motorsports community ever. I was like, these people sitting on the grassy hills of Australia. Can I join you guys? Like, can I be part of this? So I just got to get really into supercars, I think, to justify a trip to Australia to hang out with these people.
I think so. Good crowd, good vibes. Everyone there seemed, even when they were angry, they were still kind of happy.
Yeah, they have a Pizza Hut car. That's fun. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in. Congrats, MJ. I'm in. I don't know anything other than like 4 drivers, maybe. I've decided I like Brody
Kostecki,
because he seems cool. And he has a podcast with Will Brown, which you like Will Brown. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like I said, I just need to pick somebody to get into. So I'm about to get real into Brody. I'm going to get really into Brody's business. I'm going to find out everything about his career. I'm going to be clocked in. I'm going to be like, yeah, that's Brody. He's killing it. And maybe we have a new friend of the pod too, because I met somebody this weekend who's very nice and is also a Supercars driver. Miss Randall did like a Q&A session in the NASCAR experience zone, and he was just hanging out with RFK Racing for NASCAR because they share sponsors, and he was extremely kind and was it very interesting in the Q&A session. I have a lot to figure out, like what's this piano reality show he did. He also said he might come to NASCAR, which is interesting. Maybe I just get into supercars so I can be like ahead of the curve before they come to NASCAR. I can be like, I was actually a real fan. Yeah, I knew that before they were cool. And then
I think a lot of them are very intrigued by what SVG has going on. Because, I mean, since the dawn of time, we've had supercars drivers come over to NASCAR. There's one that people say gives SVG a run for his money, but I cannot think of his name off the top of my head. But like we have Will Brown coming back for Portland. I know Brody's done races before. And just like the amount of hype around these supercars drivers, like they come in and they do a road course in NASCAR and it's like they are God's gift to racing, the way they do their little foot things. I would want to come over at least for one race.
Just to see what you could do. And I'm excited that just to be like, I'm a road course god now.
What if I appreciate it? Yeah. I'd like to be worshipped for a minute if that's cool with you guys.
If that's cool with you guys, could you guys worship my foot cam? Do you mind?
Please.
Also, I'm excited that Will Brown's like going to come back for another Xfinity race because he didn't really get a real shot at it in Chicago because Carson ruined it for everyone.
It'll be interesting to see him because he originally drove the Cup car. I don't think he's driven an Xfinity car, but those cars can race. And especially in Portland. I don't love Portland, but I do have to appreciate what can happen at Portland.
We did not talk about IndyCar last week. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't get a chance to watch the race. But we had some big news come out of it, which is Alex Palou is a 4-time champion. Do you think we're going to get playoffs now?
No, I do not think we're going to get playoffs. Unless, I know it's been like proposed multiple times by like the TV people or the non-TV people. It wasn't Fox who ever proposed it, or where were we on before Fox? NBC? Peacock. Wasn't proposed by them, but it has been proposed by people inside of IndyCar. The only issue is if you wanted to do that, you would have to extend the entire season. You would have to add like a break. Like it's so much intricacy to be able to make this playoff system that people are talking about happen. And we don't even have like a regular season schedule for next year. So I highly doubt
things. I don't know. Yeah. Get figured out before that playoff.
Yeah. You would think so. But
also he would just win the playoff too. Like, I don't mean to be that person, but like, what on earth would you do in the playoff that would make Alex Palou not win it?
That's the thing, is like, the only thing that would be different is he would just be winning races like the same amount, but they would just be labeled as playoff races. That's the only difference that would be happening. I mean, if we wanted to add something outside of like the regular season, like championship, why don't we fix up the fucking leader circle?
Make that let's make that like a
fix it
more of a story.
Fix it. The top 22 all get $1 million. Snooze fest. Boring. No one cares. Give me something to fight for.
That's a great point, MJ. That's what IndyCar needs. They need somebody in the boardroom going, boring.
Snooze.
Circle.
All 22 get the same amount of money? Dumb. Stingray Rob's the only one who doesn't get money again? Stupid.
Back in my day, the losers didn't get nothing. You guys go home with nothing. All the money goes to Alex Palou, and you had to beg him to distribute it amongst you however he sees fit.
That would be fun if they were just like, okay, Alex, here's the thing. We're actually going to give you the $22 million, and then you just choose which of these guys you thought was nicest to you during the season to give you money. And he'd be giving it all to people from the back. He'd be like, I never had any issues with Louis Foster. I don't know why anybody has any beef with him. He never crashed me out. I never even saw him most of the time.
Yeah. And none for you, Christian Lundgaard.
And nothing for Christian Lundgaard. Goodbye.
So I think the other piece of news of note from the IndyCar race last weekend was that Will Power won the race. He is the first Penske win of the season. Woo! Yeah, we could woo for that. Woo!
I was excited. Everyone was like, I didn't even think he was going to win. I was like, did any of you guys watch my freaking Portland preview where I said he's one of the only drivers who has won here multiple times? And y'all said, I'm ignoring you, MJ. What do you know? I know wheel, guys. You have to accept it. Sometimes I do know wheel.
No, she knows a lot of wheel, guys. And I also just think like Portland, like as a track, it just matches Will Power's vibe
Energy.
Beautifully. Like you have to know whenever you enter that space, like you're on hallowed ground for Will Power. Like this is where he feeds his aura for like a whole year to come. Like this is an important place for him.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a K. What is it? What's the name of the first turn that everybody crashes at?
Turn 1.
Doesn't it have like a little nickname though about like chaos or something?
Oh, in my preview, I kept saying calamity because they do the whole calamity corner thing.
That's like a word that I think like resonates with Will Power. He likes that. He thrives off that. So next time you guys want to count out Will Power, that's on you, but I would never make that mistake. Especially after MJ told me not to count him out specifically.
Specifically, I said that.
So
that's all right.
Whatever. You guys want to keep making that mistake. I won't. But what's interesting is that it might not really even matter because there's a lot of silly season-ish type rumors about Will Power. They've kind of been floating around all year because this is like an end of his contract year. I feel like you and I had talked about it privately before as like, just because his contract's running out, like doesn't mean that means he's not going to have a seat. It's just like they're looking for any sort of straws to grasp at for like silly season rumors or whatever. But like he's probably fine, right? But I don't know. After this weekend, I do kind of feel like Will Power himself was kind of answering questions about like, I don't know what's the future of my seat. I'm not allowed to talk to any teams until after Nashville. I haven't heard anything any which way from the team and about the seat I'm currently in. He kind of was saying stuff like we had a good run after his win. What do you think about the possibility of him leaving? And like, what do you think about the move of probably David Malukas going into his seat?
I mean, if that's what you want to do, Roger, if you want to get rid of the driver who's been winning for you and pop in David Malukas, who famously has no wins in IndyCar, gotten close, sure. Don't know what that counts for if wins don't count for anything. I don't know. It seems it's very on par for Penske, though, is the thing that you kind of have to reconcile with, because as much as it's like, it seems crazy that they would get rid of a driver who isn't, frankly, I don't think Will Power is past his prime, maybe close. But they famously do get rid of drivers before they're past their prime. We've seen it before. So it's not shocking that they would do this. I think moving David Malukas up is unfair to David Malukas. He hasn't had a whole lot of success this year with AJ Foyt. But I'm also interested in the dynamic between what would be the 3 Penske drivers next year, if it is David Malukas, Joseph Newgarden, and Scott T-Mac. I was going to say Scott McLaughlin.
Congratulations, Scott Dixon. You're on Penske now.
Huge news. Because I believe that those 3 drivers aren't super fond of each other, so that could be kind of fun for us. I feel like Will Power is a little bit the glue that holds Penske together. But once again, Roger, if that's what we're feeling like getting rid of, that's a genius idea. You've made a lot of genius moves this year. I don't know why you wouldn't also add that.
Why stop now? Yeah.
Exactly. That being said, I definitely think Will Power could have another seat on the grid next year. Like, I think other teams would be absolutely dumb not to snatch him up. I know there was a rumor that went around that we kind of indulged in for a minute of him going to the number 28 for Andretti. Flava Flav actually was wearing a Marcus Ericsson jersey recently photographed, I think at a bowling alley, which I was kind of like, Flava Flav is
he's famously a
Will Power fan, which like so true. Me too. So maybe that was just like our little Taylor Swift Easter egg being like, well, if Flava Flav says the number 28 of Andretti, maybe Will Power will go there. But they've kind of said, Andretti's kind of said like, no, Marcus is definitely staying here. Like he doesn't have a contract, but he's definitely, we're not planning on getting rid of him. So
yeah, I think that's the real story there is if Will Power were to leave and David Malukas were to get that Penske seat, okay, I guess Penske just wants to suffer. I don't know. Let him. I don't know what to tell you. You guys just want to suffer. You want to fire all your leadership, fire your most experienced driver, who's also your most like successful driver this season and last season. If you want to suffer, I don't know. You guys seem to like have a thing for it. So I'll just let you do that. The real story for me would be like, who is now scared of Will Power taking their seat? Because I think a lot of people that might feel secure in their like mid to like lower field teams, part of me thinks like nobody would pass up the chance if they could of signing somebody with as much experience as Will Power, also as much experience on like kind of you would get like a lot of knowledge as well on how Penske operates their team. And if you're like a lower to mid-level team, like maybe that sort of thing could be like helpful to the development of your own team. And like, I mean, you don't really pass up somebody like Will Power if you can get them. I don't think you would. So and if Will Penske wants to suffer, like let somebody else have him. But who?
Will Power is very car intelligent. I've been reading his biography, and
I was waiting for this plug. I was so excited. I love listening to MJ talk about this book because I'm not paying $50 for this book, but I really like Will Power, so I'm glad to hear about it.
Paid so much money for this. But when he kind of started to get more serious about his racing career before his dad like bought him an actually nice car, he would spend like the weekends taking apart the car completely and being able to put it back together so that he could communicate like, these are the things that need to be fixed, these are how I would fix them. I would be interested, this is a little side tangent, to know who like which drivers like have that ability, because I feel like you kind of like learn it as you go. But there are definitely, I mean, like even in NASCAR, some drivers where I'm like, they're here to drive the car. Like even Carson admitted the other day, he's like, I just kind of drive the car. But Will Power not only has like all this fucking driving experience, he also has all this car experience. He would be a good get. Even if like this would be kind of crazy, but even if like another big team wanted to snatch him up, like Arrow McLaren, or because I would say that each of these teams has, with the three drivers, has like one driver who it's like clearly you are here more so monetarily versus, though they're still talented, of course. But I mean, could Will Power replace Nolan Siegel? Could he replace Kiffin Simpson? Could he replace Marcus Ericsson? That would suck for Penske, I feel like.
That's the thing. I keep thinking about Penske, and I'm like, you guys are so dumb because, like, not only are you screwing yourself in the way of he's actually, like, right now your most consistently performing driver, crazy, it's also, like, why would you want somebody else to have him? You shouldn't let him go until he, like, that's what, like, I feel like Chip Ganassi does with like Scott Dixon. Like they're not going to fucking kick Scott Dixon because if he's not done driving, then he'll go somewhere else. Why the fuck would you want to compete against Scott Dixon? You had him. Why would you want to compete against Will?
Is it more to your benefit to drop him versus like, I don't know. It's just, and I wonder if he's arguing for or trying to get a longer contract than they want, which that's probably the only real reason I could see them being so willing to drop him and pull up David Malukas. Because right now, I mean, David Malukas is sitting in your technical alliance team. You know, he's having time to develop there. They are a strong team with a good car, even though it seems like they just haven't been able to put anything together. That's the perfect place for him to be. If you can have a driver on your team continuing to win, keep the driver on your team who's continuing to win and bring up David Malukas when he's ready or when Will Power is like truly past his prime.
Retired.
I don't know what the benefit is to rushing David Malukas when it's not like he's not Connor Zillage. You know, he's not out there every weekend winning a bunch of races, being ultra competitive. He's done well. Absolutely. He's not doing much better than like the Penske drivers though. And so it's like
part of me is like, the only way that this would be like, I think a smart move is like you said, if he was like a Connor Zillage where you were like, if I don't give him the opportunity he wants, he will go somewhere else.
Right.
Is anybody like fucking busting down the door? Like no offense to David Malukas. I just don't think like right now IndyCar is even in a place where like there's big driver changes on the horizon. I don't think anybody's knocking on David Malukas's door and being like, if you don't get that Penske seat next year, do you want to come drive for me? I think like AJ Foyt is a great team for him to be at. I think it plays to his strengths. I mean, David Malukas performs really well on ovals. I'm a little iffier on like his road course performances. Like he has some moments, but he also like has some pretty low points. And I think that AJ Foyt might not be as strong on those courses as they are on like the ovals. And like, just tell David like, hey, we're kind of figuring some shit out right now in case you haven't noticed. Like we've had a real shit time with our leadership changes and everything. Like maybe now isn't the time to introduce a driver change. I hope you understand. Can we push this conversation back another year?
Yeah.
But is David Malukas like being like, no, or else I'm going to leave?
I mean, maybe. It's because I'm trying to think of like races where
that much. He's like, I can't do another year.
Sure, AJ Foyt aren't super thrilled with Santino after his past few races, but like, I mean, David Malukas did do really well at the Indy 500.
Yeah,
I can give him that.
He did in Iowa. I think I was pretty impressed with him in race 1. I think of Iowa, there was like a consistent time there where he was like running in second and third, and it really looked like he could have like a podium potential there.
Right. But then you have Will Power was on the podium at Iowa.
Right.
And I would say the Indy 500 the Indy 500 is its own beast if that's what they're going for. But Joseph Newgarden could have won the Indy 500 with how fucking fast his car was if it weren't for the attenuator gate and then ultimately having like a technical failure. So it's hard to be like, I don't know, Penske. Whatever you do, I'm going to disagree with, I think.
And I think that like right now, at least the schedule for IndyCar doesn't feel like there's a lot of oval races. I guess there is, but like it doesn't really feel like it. And I feel like next year the amount of oval races is even more in the air after the 2 Iowa races probably getting cut. So I feel like I would also be like, okay, so we have Joseph, who's pretty good at ovals and the Indy 500, but then can also turn out a performance when he's having a good weekend on like a street or road course. You know, like we have Scotty Mack, who's also pretty good. And then you have Will, who can like crank out a win when the whole team is falling around him at Portland, because he's just like really good at like road courses. I'm like, yeah, this seems like a really good lineup you guys have there. You guys seem like you have it really figured out. Why would we?
That's the thing.
Change?
Is it's like where you're at right now with your drivers compared to like everything around you. This is not an issue right now. Like the drivers, it's not. You're not going to be fighting for the championship next year. Sorry, I love you to death. And if I'm wrong, feel free to clip this and we can toss it on Twitter.
I was going to say,
bully me.
Yeah, we've been pretty wrong about stuff like this, but
it's like Alex Palou. Do we think the Alex Palou domination is going to end next year? What's changing in the season? Like literally nothing. So while you're in this cushion of like, yo, we're not even fighting for nothing right now, just keep your driver lineup, cook David Malukas in AJ Foyt where he's, you know, beating Santino Ferrucci because Ferrucci's just like sending it into the wall recently. Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we can reevaluate this after you give Will Power the 2 years that he wants.
Yeah, and then Will Power will leave peacefully and under good terms.
I think it'll be even better. I think he'll go to another team, and I think he's going to continue to terrorize. But it's like, let that happen in the future when you know that you have something set up behind him to come in. Yeah. I could 100% see Will Power being like, fuck it. The Dale Coyne doesn't look that bad to drive.
He's like, can you guys give me Renus's car? I'm trying to see something.
I want to see some. Jacob Abel, does he need to be in the car to continue to be in the series, or could I just sub in for him some weekends?
Or maybe he could stay there for like 2 more years, and then he could switch with Connor Zilic after Connor Zilic has won the Cup Series championship in the 99. Sure. They can switch, and then Will Power can go in the 99, and Connor can have a go at IndyCar, and it would be like a fun little trade.
That's the dream. I really do think we could get Will Power into a NASCAR. I truly, truly do, especially like after watching Elio. I'm like, now Elio, like, bless his heart, he didn't have the best weekend. But I think Will Power, we get him in one of those cars and he'll just cook. He was born to be in NASCAR partially.
And he already knows ovals. We don't even have to.
He doesn't even have to learn ovals.
He's good. Throw him in. Trackhouse will love him.
Take him to Portland. Doesn't Portland happen after the IndyCar season? I don't know if that's true or not. I just think it'd be fun.
Him versus Will Brown. Let's go.
Oh, the dream. Oh, dream. I think they're both from Toowoomba.
I'm going to be honest, it sounds like you made that up.
I don't think so. I think I'm correct.
I mean the city.
Oh, no, I would never.
Do you think they know each other? Do you think they're friends?
I don't know. Wait, now I'm really intrigued. Yeah, he's from Toowoomba.
Do you think they're best? Do you think that they're best friends? Do you think
the thing is
all the time?
Will Brown is so much younger than Will Power. They're both named Will. Oh my God, they're both named
Will.
This is really important to me.
Wait, why did Will Power ever do like Supercars? Did he ever think about like you're reading his book? So, did they mention that in there?
I don't think they did, but his dad did like Formula 2. So that was kind of always the single seater was always kind of what he was going for. Well,
it's never too late, Will Power, for a career change.
I think it'd be fun.
Fuck it. Supercars? Anywho, I don't really have much else to say, I guess, on the Will Power situation. I just think it's a bit like, I honestly think like the way that it's being handled is a bit disrespectful, I think, to him. But I think it's what everybody would expect from Penske, which I think says something. I don't know what. And I'm not going to say what in particular, but I think it says something that everybody goes, yeah, we're used to Penske being disrespectful to some of their most longstanding and successful drivers. Not a reputation I would want.
No, especially if I owned the series I was competing in. But who's to say?
It's neither here nor there.
No.
All right, NASCAR. IndyCar. Or can I move on?
We're going to the Milwaukee Mile this weekend. Be sure to check out ATYL Media because Andrea is going to be doing the preview. Who knows? You got this. It'll be fine.
Oh my God. I forgot about that. I am excited, though, that we're going to another oval. I like ovals.
2 more ovals to finish out the season. Now, obviously, as we know, the championship is already finalized, but we still have that leader circle to look after, so keep your eyes on it.
Yeah. And I also feel like these last 2, they're going to kind of just be like little favors for the oval merchants. Make them feel good before the season ends.
Bold prediction. I think we're going to have a new winner in one of the last 2 races. Maybe it'll be David Malukas.
Yeah, because we talked a sufficient amount of shit, I think, today.
Yeah.
That I think
now
the only thing that could happen is that we get proven wrong.
Okay.
It's very lapsed down pod
Do
of
it,
us.
David Malukas.
We're used to talking shit about people and then they win the next weekend. So enjoy that, David Malukas. You're welcome. NASCAR. What a fucking discourse we had last week that we didn't even get to talk about. Mr. Kyle Larson decided to go on a rampage last week of just like anything NASCAR related. He actually would just go on a podcast and be like, I don't really like it very much, actually. He started with the Martinsville hot dogs, and I was like, fair. I've said some shit about the Martinsville hot dogs.
He goes, why are they red?
Weird. Yeah.
Great question. Great question.
I think that's exactly what we said, Kyle. Why are they red? No, great question. I think he was feeling pretty on top of the world after kind of getting away with the Martinsville thing. He was like, dude, I said something crazy about the Martinsville hot dogs and some people like agreed with me. Should I say more of my hot takes? And so he then decided to say that he thought Talladega Nights was like a bad representation of NASCAR. And
he said, and I quote, turned our sport into a joke. Which, like, I think 100% agree with.
Well, so did William Byron. I think literally William Byron literally tweeted, like, I 100% agree with this.
I don't know what he tweeted.
So why do you agree with it? Because you watched Talladega Nights for the first time when we were in Iowa. I made you watch it.
It was really bad.
What do you agree with about Kyle Larson's take? Okay. Let's talk through that. In what ways?
So I think it also has to deal with like the timing of when it came out, because obviously we had the bump in NASCAR. NASCAR was supreme leader of motorsport, especially in America, one of the top sports in America, which is crazy that there was a time like that. And I just didn't pay attention to NASCAR the way I do now. Mm-hmm. Whatever. And then as it kind of
successful podcast.
Dude, could you imagine if we were like, if it was like the early 2000s, you and I getting home from elementary school and being like, guys, could you please not make any noise for a while? We're going to film this before I have to go to bed at 9 p.m. And now we're like, hey guys, could you not make any noise for a while? It's 2025. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to bed at 9 p.m. Where was I starting with that?
It was the most successful sport in America.
Oh,
and then Talladega Nights came out.
It came out when it was kind of on the fall, right? And that's never really when you want a satire about your sport to come out, because it's like, oh, the reason the sport is falling is because some of these things that are represented in the movie. It's just a bad movie.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I think I giggled a couple times though, MJ, and I don't giggle a lot in movies. I think I just like Sacha Baron Cohen's character. I think he makes me giggle.
I felt like the movie was more about being homophobic in a very homoerotic way versus being like, oh, NASCAR is sick. It was more like NASCAR is a side plot to this homoerotic movie that we're trying to make, but like in a homophobic way. And then also this guy from another racing series is just going to come in and absolutely pummel you the whole entire. So that just kind of like emboldens the people who are like, well, NASCAR is not that hard. I don't think it helped the sport at all, especially because the people who are going to watch it outside of NASCAR aren't going to ever want to be the people who figure out whether or not these stereotypes are real. They're just going to be like, no, I know it's like that because of this movie.
I kind of feel like I do agree with what you're saying. I think it coming from Kyle Larson, though, I am kind of, I don't know, it's like tough because I'm like, I don't think you get to decide how the movie gets made about your sport in a way. You know what I mean? I'm like, you don't get to critique it. Because it's like,
I think it's important to note that all he said was this one line, and we have turned it into an entire discourse. And I think what we should really be talking about is why the fuck do we care what Kyle Larson says?
No,
Austin Cindric goes on podcast twice as much as Kyle Larson, and we never create discourse about some of the insane things that Austin Cindric says.
Like what? Can we start one right now? What do you want to discourse about?
That's a great question. He was talking about, I sent you the clip, because there was a fucking rumor going around that like NASCAR was like, no one's allowed to stand on their cars anymore. No one's allowed to celebrate after the race because Connor Zilic done fell. Which, first of all, when has NASCAR ever cared about driver safety? They're not going to start now.
No.
But they've been asking everyone this week, like, oh, well, after you saw what happened to Connor, are you still going to celebrate if you win?
Are you going to do it?
And Austin Cindric said something along the lines of, like, I'm already incredibly careful when I stand up on my car. He's like, I make sure to move the window net because you know what they say, big trees fall hard. I was just like, and he said it straight face and continued talking. I was like, we could talk about this for a second if you guys wanted to, but no, let's see what Kyle is talking about.
I think he could have ended it with like, I'm always very careful when I stand.
No, he said, big trees fall hard. He said, you see how tall I am? No, but I wouldn't have survived that drop.
I don't even believe that he's just careful when he stands on cars. I think when he just stands... He's just being careful and being alert and being aware of his surroundings. He's looking around. Are there any slippery surfaces? Because big trees are going to fall hard. They're going to fall harder from the top of a car, but they could fall hard, period.
And
he's a safety first type of person. I think more Austin Cindric podcasts, less Kyle Larson podcast. Surely Kyle Larson has fulfilled his podcast quota for the year. Like, for fuck's sake, this man's been on everything. Points. You've already lost the race to Joey Logano when it comes to the marketing thing, okay? We've already signed, sealed, delivered it. Joey Logano wins. So, like, just stop going on the podcast. You're not going to win the $1 million or whatever the fuck the payout is for the media situation. Now, if Austin Cindric wants to go on more podcasts just for the love of the game, I would appreciate that. And we should start discoursing.
Will you please come on our podcast?
Please.
I have some really good questions. Like, for my birthday, I'm getting myself glasses that actually like stay on my face. And I was looking through Warby Parker and I was saving some glasses that I like really liked. And I ended up realizing, because I did this yesterday for the NASCAR race, as I was watching the NASCAR post race, that all the glasses I saved are actually just the ones that I like on Austin Cindric. Not helpful to me. So I would ask him where he gets his glasses from, so that I could cut straight to the source.
I think more importantly, we should ask him how he came to those glasses. Like, were those always the glasses? Is there like pictures of like little Austin Cindric with those specific like tortoiseshell round ass glasses? Because they're so fitting to his face. How did that come to be? Is it like a Harry Potter sorting hat sort of situation where he like went to his, optometrist and they were just trying on all these glasses and none of them fit his face, and then he found the ones? I want to talk about that moment when he put the glasses on and he was like, I think I'm a new person now. I found the ones. I think that's important.
I think so too.
To me.
He dazzles me. But anyways, Talladega Nights, not that good, ruined the sport.
Sure. That's it. Yeah. I guess we kind of talked about Connor Zilic falling. Ugh, that felt like so rotted. I hated all of that. I wasn't actually watching the Xfinity race live. I had like come home from something and I was about to start the recording of it that I had like on my DVR. MJ kind of told me, she was like, it's okay, you can turn back now. You don't have to watch this Xfinity race. She was like, we're not having fun. Nobody's having a good time. I guess it was interesting, like the Connor and SVG fight. That was a little moment of interest before the disaster. It was, you were telling me that he was on the radio being like, can you guys tell it to me straight? Did I wreck him? Please.
Please let me know. Guys, you would tell me if I wrecked him. And then they did the interview with him. He was on like Door Bumper Clear, him and his spotter were. And he kind of looked over at his spotter and he's like, you were lying to me, weren't you? And he's like, yeah.
Yep. Lied straight to you.
Yep.
But then he did end up falling. Ugh, the clip just went everywhere. It got out of hand really fast. Luckily, he's okay in a way. I wouldn't even say he's okay. It was weird how he was like, I'm okay, guys. Just broke my collarbone. I was like, that's a serious injury. I don't know if I classify that as okay. Okay is like nothing happened. I just got a little
It's one of the
bump on my elbow.
bones to break.
I've come to learn that because to me, I feel like collarbone seems like an important one. But then everybody in the NASCAR community is so fucked up when it comes to injuries. These men are like not right in the head when it comes to injuries. And they all go, oh, that's not even a bad one. You're just going to put a couple of screws and a plate in there and you'll be back in the car in no time. I was like,
yeah. Because it's not like connected to like any joints or anything. It's not one that has a lot of muscle or movement over top of it. It's like genuinely, if you think about it, it's just sitting there. It's not like a scapula. It's not like a femur. Like it's not doing any work, not doing any heavy lifting.
Yeah. That's like what they all said. They said, oh, a collarbone, no problem. I thought he was going to break his leg. That would have been way worse. And I was like, no, I agree that would have also been bad. But like, can we have a moment where we acknowledge that like breaking bones is bad, NASCAR, and we shouldn't just say put some screws in it and get over it. But that's what they're going with. So they scheduled this boy for surgery. Luckily, it was an off week for Xfinity. He didn't even have to miss a race. And they put some screws and some plates in him. I don't know if he's going to be back for the next race. Or if he's going to have to sit one out, but it kind of makes it sound like he'll be back soon. Definitely back probably before playoffs. No?
I doubt that. No.
You think? They literally said 2 to 3 weeks, like he'll be back to normal.
When is playoffs? The week
like
after
2
next?
Weeks. Well, he's already been healing for a week. And then if he misses this next race, that's 2 weeks. They said he
would have to get a waiver too, which I don't know.
I don't know.
How many dollars can you get?
Yeah, no, there does come a point where it's like, geez, Connor, it's always you, huh?
Connor, please.
I don't know.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah. I definitely feel like they're gonna want him to like get out there for playoffs. And even if he's not ready, I feel like they're gonna want him to be ready because if he's only doing one season of Xfinity and they are gonna move him to Cup, they're gonna want him to go out and win it if he can.
Yeah, he's not winning it, I feel like, especially now. But I think I don't think Dale Jr. would let him race with a broken collarbone the same way that like RCR would be like, oh, your leg is in multiple pieces? Yeah, no, get out there.
I don't know. I guess they haven't made an announcement. I think they're leaving themselves room for...
Yeah, they probably don't even know.
Yeah, they're probably like, we'll figure it out like the day before, which is insane. But hope you feel better, Connor. I'm sorry that happened to you. I surely wish they hadn't put it on all over Twitter. I wish I hadn't seen the video as many times as I had. And I'm sure Connor also wishes he hadn't seen the video as many times as he had. I'm sure he also wished it didn't have like millions of views on Twitter.
I'm sure he wished he moved the window net.
Dude, next time, just talk to Austin Cindric. He's got this shit figured out.
Move the window net. Connor, you're not that short. You could move the window net. Take some advice from Austin.
So we had Richmond this week. I went to Richmond. It was my first NASCAR race in person. I did not watch some of this pre-race stuff. I unfortunately did not watch qualifying because it was on Friday and I had work. But I found out the most delightful news, which was that Ryan Preece was on pole. And I was like, it's all coming together now for us. It's all coming up roses. It's like everything is falling into place. I'm so excited. I can't wait to go to Richmond and watch Ryan Preece win. Spoiler alert, that did not happen. I also heard Joey Logano smack the wall in practice. To the rear for changes. It's like, see, it's all working out. Everything's going up from here. The crisis is averted. I'm surely not going to see a Logano win. There was a time where I also thought that might not be true. And I was like, fuck, somebody get him, please, please. And then it was a sold out race. Everybody was very excited about this. Now, can I be honest with you?
Of course.
I went to go buy my tickets like a week and a half, 2 weeks before. It was kind of hard to find tickets, particularly like three together, like 3 seats together, because I had a friend coming with. And I was like, damn, this place is kind of sold out. However, when I was there, I think that the race it's a marathon, and a lot of people did not make it to the finish line. So parking like opened at 2 p.m. and that's when we pulled up because they said you need to get there early. It's a very big like tailgating race. And so a lot of people were there already like set up, full tents, grills, the whole shebang. And the race did not start until 7:30 p.m. There is no shade. It was hot as balls out there, guys. Okay, it was extremely hot. And by the time the race actually got there, a good majority of the stands near me, like there was plenty of open seats. Like nobody was squished in there. Like there was like plenty of open seats. And I think that those are the people that they did not make it. They did not make it to see the race.
Too hard. I've been there.
They were in a field. Yeah. So that's why if you were watching and you were looking at the stands, you're like, that doesn't look like a sold out race. They sold the ticket. The person did not attend.
It looked packed. To be fair.
It did? Okay, that's good.
It did. Okay. It looked good until like we saw like Elliot get crashed out, and then the hordes of people leaving. I was like, oh my god, it's over.
So that actually brings up an interesting point before we talk about the race, which is like the fan dynamics. Lots of Chase Elliott merch, and it was my first time in a NASCAR race. I was like taking a walk around, and I loved seeing the people like. I've seen the dynamics of like merch sales in NASCAR is so interesting to me. Like you have an entire trailer of just Chase Elliott merch. This man's got everything. He's got like 100 fucking hat designs, and like they have like a bajillion t-shirts. They literally like were like so many people like dressing their kids up in like little Chase Elliott merch. Like they were like literally selling out of kid sizes. They're like, sorry, we don't have any more kid sizes. We sold out of all the pink Chase Elliott shirts. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, dude, this is insane. And then lots of Denny Hamlin merch was there. And I think it's because he's from Virginia and this is a race in Virginia. But that was really comforting to see as somebody who is, you know, I do like Denny and I don't like it when people are mean to Denny. And everybody's wearing their little FedEx merch. And I was like, oh, RIP to the FedEx car.
Rest in peace,
FedEx. Girl.
That feels like it was so long ago.
No, I was like, wow, that's really cool vintage merch you guys have.
It's retro.
But lots of Denny Hamlin merch. And then this is like the thing that was so surprising to me. I wore an SVG shirt there. And I have to say, there was more SVG merch at this race than I ever could have imagined. Like if you would have asked somebody who the most popular driver in NASCAR was, and you were just looking at everybody in the crowd, like part of me thinks you would have to be inclined to say SVG. Yeah. Like there was just a lot of SVG merch. And his signing was popping. The line was wrapped around the merch haulers. And I don't know if it's maybe just because of his like recent success or if
a
like
recency bias.
People, yeah, like maybe people are just like, oh, I need somebody to be a fan of. And he's been like kind of dog walking people for the last like couple weeks. We had quite a stretch there of SVG dominance that he just like now is like, fuck it, I could be fan favorite. I don't know. It was interesting because Trackhouse has an entire hauler of Ross merch. I didn't see his
unnecessary.
Yeah, he has an entire make it an SVG trailer. Make it an SVG trailer. Sorry, Ross.
I mean, they're gonna have because like Ross, obviously a popular driver, SVG and Connors Village on the same team. Guys, you are gonna make so much money from merch specifically from me and Andrea. Like dude, we are going to. I'm wearing Trackhouse merch right now.
I wore mine yesterday. I haven't washed it yet. I don't know. Even Ross, I think, is a little spooked. He said something. They had like a fan experience section where they had like the Q&A. I told you guys about Thomas and everything, but Ross did a Q&A, and it was funny. He mentioned something. They asked him like, "Could you imagine your career being what it is now 10 years ago?" And he was talking. And he was like, being on a race winning team, having like a race winning car, having won races myself. He was like, I would have never imagined, and I don't know how much longer this will be true, being the winningest driver on like a NASCAR team and like being like kind of the leader of a team. And I was like, he was like, but the way SVG is going, he's probably going to change that dynamic.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many, you won one race? That's rookie numbers, my guy. Between SVG and Connor Zillage? Bro, kiss your days goodbye. Wait until Will Power takes Ross Chastain's.
Oh my God, we're gonna buy even more merch. You guys are gonna need more merch haulers. But I don't know, that was very interesting to me. I guess just like kind of seeing the merch culture, I guess, like around NASCAR, it was interesting. Lots of like retro merch of like drivers that aren't even in NASCAR anymore was very popular, which I feel like you see a lot in IndyCar as well, but I feel like I don't really see this in F1. Like in F1, you have to show who you're rooting for in that moment. Like nobody cares who you used to root for. If your favorite driver switches teams, you better fucking sell all that shit and buy the new team stuff. Like, but I feel like in IndyCar and NASCAR, the merch is like a lot more like, it's cool to have like retro vintage merch. It's more of like a moment. You want to flex that you were there for moments in history. Yeah. You want to show people you have the Dale Jr. merch. You don't care if he's not on the track. You want to show that you have it.
People respect it when you like one specific thing in time.
Yeah, dude, I also feel like in NASCAR, it is kind of weird. I feel like you can't have more than, like a lot of people have like one fave. Like there was people, like I said, like they had a whole family dressed up in like the same driver. I was like mom, dad, and like 4 kids, and they're all in like Kyle Busch stuff. And I'm like, now what if that kid likes SVG? Then what?
What a sad drive home if you and your kids all like Kyle Busch. You can't do that. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to split your kids evenly between drivers.
Yeah. Maybe you could pick a team. Like you could be like, we're a JGR family and our 3 children, you know, one of them's going to be Christopher Bell. One of them's going to be Denny. One's going to, you know what I mean? So that way you could like, yeah. That'd be fun.
That's so weird. I've never met a family who has all liked the same anything before. Like sports, specific athletes, ever. Never have I met, or like friend groups, I've never been like, oh, you guys are, like, you're all rocking with this driver. Like, we have a couple drivers in our friend group that we're like, yeah, no, we like these ones, but also, like, I kind of like this other driver a little bit more. So, like, that's more my driver. Yeah. But
we have, like,
just, like, the fact that you would...
individuality.
Yeah. An entire family in Kyle Busch merch. I don't know. I don't believe it. Not in 2025.
Well, they're out there. They're just sad. Damn. But yeah, I guess. Oh, also they had like the driver introductions, and I was telling my friend, you know, like, okay, like these are the people that like everybody's gonna boo for. You know what I mean? Like just prepping them. But I was taken aback by the powerful boos. Like they're people get very into him. I will say, even though there was a lot of Denny Hamlin merch, there was a powerful boo that erupted from the crowd when he was introduced for the driver introductions. And I feel like there was a little boo for Joey Logano. There was one guy in my area who tried to boo Bubba Wallace. And I was like, you look silly now, huh? You just thought we were all going to be annoying and racist, but it was actually just you. And now you look like a fucking idiot, and we all know who did it. It's you. We're all looking at you. But I was like, good job, Richmond. You didn't boo Bubba. That helped my friend think that NASCAR isn't just a racist hellhole. That's good.
Right.
Thanks, guys. I don't know. Start booing in more sports, maybe? That's fun.
Oh, I would say, I think boos, it's interesting that the boo thing doesn't really happen in IndyCar, but it's because they don't do a very good job with the driver intros, I think. except for like the Indy 500. But like, I think that we could fix the driver intro so that it could allow for more booing. I think that would be nice. Same with like F1. There was quite a bit of booing during the Vegas Grand Prix.
I can't remember who was booed.
In our section, Max. I was in like the Lando stand before it was the Lando stand.
No, okay. There's such a weird thing in Miami. There's so many Lewis Hamilton fans, and they really fucking boo Max. Like they really get off, and I'm like,
Max gets a lot of boos.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's strange because I think that the narrative that goes around is that America's full of Red Bull fans, and I'm like, wrong. Checo fans. They don't give a fuck about Max. They boo
it's just
him.
Checo and Will Brown over here. Those are the only Red Bulls we care about.
Period. And Cottage Village.
And Cottage Village and SVG.
We care a lot about Red Bulls, I'm sorry.
Am I a Red Bull fan? Coming out, Red Bull fan.
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel like booing or cheering. I didn't feel like it was a safe space for me to boo or cheer.
You abstained?
I did cheer for people that I thought were going to get booed, and I didn't want them to get sad. So I cheered for Denny.
To equal out.
I cheered for Denny. I cheered for Bubba. I did not cheer for Joey, but I honestly think I was like on my phone or something. I guess I wasn't really paying attention.
Were there any drivers who got like more boos than you thought they were going to? Like, did anyone boo like Austin Cindric? Or
no,
like SVG or anybody?
No. I think it was interesting in the fan zone. Ty Dillon was getting like a lot of shit in the fan zone. When he came on stage for his Q&A, yeah, when he came, because they started asking him questions about his like brother in Richmond last year. They started bringing in it. He doesn't want to associate with that. He's like, that's not my brand.
Race for that team, guys.
That's not my brand. You know what I mean? Like he's like, don't associate me with this. But he started being like, like I think people sometimes have amnesia about the things that they've done in the past if they want to give him shit for like doing what he needed to do last year. And there was a vibe change in the fans zone. Everybody, this fucking Nepo baby. Like people were getting mad, and I was like, no, that's our Cinderella story. I thought we all liked Ty Dillon now. No, don't change on him now.
We're going to get butthurt over the fact that he's saying that Denny and Joey Logano have been known to wreck people out and drive dirty. That's where we're going to... Y'all were booing him 2 minutes ago. Do not be mean to Austin. Not Austin. Yeah. You can be mean to Austin.
But don't be mean to
Dylan.
Ty.
Yeah, don't be mean to Ty. What has Ty ever done?
I think...
He's still got his normal teeth.
No, brave, might I say. He could have gotten veneers and he doesn't, and that's really powerful. I also think that Ty Gibbs got like some boos, but they were pretty like mild.
They weren't like wholehearted boos.
No. And Austin Dillon got some boos. And I think it was maybe just people like that were maybe like attendees last year who felt like traumatized in a way.
That's fair. Interesting.
Yeah. Do you think that you would abstain from the boos or cheers, or do you think you would like get into it?
I do kind of get into it. Like even I don't like I probably would have clapped for everybody. I don't cheer very loud though, because I don't get very loud like as a person. So I probably would have, clapped for everybody, been like I did my respectfulness. But like during like USHL hockey games when they announced the other team, which is like teenagers, and then you yell like "you suck" or "who cares" after every single one of them. Like if everyone else is doing it, like I'll do it. But no, I probably would have just like quietly given them their 4 claps and moved on.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and like the guy who booed Bubba, you kind of like put yourself out there and are vulnerable for a second where you like, I'm gonna like tell my opinion on this driver. And even if you think that everybody else is going to do it, there's a chance they don't. And then it's like, you outed yourself. Yeah. I mean, like I wanted to cheer for some drivers, but like I maybe felt embarrassed and self-conscious. You know what I mean? Like I didn't want to put myself out there.
Interesting. Yeah, like, you don't want to get weeded out as like a Chase Elliott fan.
No, I wanted to like cheer a little bit for Daniel Suarez because I was just like, woo. But then I was like, no, keep it in, Andrea.
Don't do that.
You can't. They also do a little like driver's parade with them in a truck around the track. And then they like announced them in the order that they qualified in, and the top 10 qualifiers, their vibes were so much different. Like they did like all of the like sad people that didn't qualify very well, and then the top 10 qualifiers, they had a like full fucking fire pyrotechnics like fireworks display. And it took me a minute to figure out like, why is Alex Bowman getting like fucking fireworks? Like I was like, what's going on? Like the vibe was so different, and then it took me a second to realize like, oh, that's the top 10 qualifiers. But I was like, who are these people? Why are they getting this level of treatment? So like, it's like, what's happening? But
that's funny.
I don't know. It was kind of fun. Any questions about NASCAR? Do you have any questions, NASCAR questions? I'm kind of an expert now. So do you have any NASCAR questions?
They'll come to me as we talk,
okay.
I think.
Okay. Well, let's talk about the race. Do you want to lead us through the race?
I sure can try. It was pretty uneventful for the beginning. Ryan Preece was doing well. My hopes and dreams still existed. And then like the first incident where we had any action, because I felt like it was pretty calm for the most part, was lap 14 when Joey Logano decided to bully the young kids. He bumped into he ended up spinning Riley Herbst via bumping Jesse Love, who I found out was racing at the time of this incident. But yeah, that wasn't super eventful. It just was like the first bad thing to happen to 2311, and then it just kept coming after that.
He was in the back by his own doing, and then he just started making it everybody in the back's problem. Like there was a lot of people back there that were just trying to like do their own thing. And Joey Logano
like Riley's
they're struggling that back there, Joey. Like you don't need to just go around.
We're still all on the lead lap. Like they are still racing right now. Like you can't just push him out of the way. Like he's working. Okay, be nice.
No, I think he literally had like a vibe where he was like, I don't think you guys understand. I'm not meant to be back here with you losers. Like I'm back here by mistake. Okay, and I need to get back up front where I belong. So if you fuckers can get out of the way, and you just had poor Jesse Love who's like, I'm just trying to learn.
Yeah, literally. Jesse's just like getting out of the way chronically. But a little while later, we started the pit cycle. And this is where the entirety of the race happened, was this pit cycle. Most people went in for new tires. Those who stayed out were banking on like, okay, we're going to have extra fresh tires later in the race, which is super going to help us out. Ryan Preece was one of those.
Specifically like late race, like cautions was like, okay.
Well, it was like stage 2. They wanted to have like an extra pair during stage 2. So they like sacrificed their points to be able to make that happen. The people who stayed out, we had Preece, all 3 of the Spire cars, and Elliott. I think there were more people. I didn't write them down because I was like, there's no way. There's no way this is going to be consequential. But this was where, we saw Preece fall apart. He even was over the radio. He was like, should we have pitted there? And they called back to him and they were like, well, it's too late now.
No, he was like bleeding spots. I was like, this poor, like, I can't imagine how that feels like in the car when you like led so much of stage 1 and then like everybody else pits. And then it's like, all right, you're about to get passed a lot right now. You're just going to see all your competitors driving past you.
I think there must have been something with his car where it just was never going to happen in traffic. Like if he didn't lead from the entire time, because as soon as he got into traffic, even when he was on new tires, he just couldn't make anything happen until like a pit cycle happened and he came out on top, which is unfortunate because he was fighting for a playoff position. But who needs to get into the playoffs? This is, you mentioned something about the iRacing graphic.
Yeah, they had like a graphic. They were trying to kind of explain the Denny Hamlin versus Ryan Preece strategies that were playing out. And they were, I think, trying to explain like, yes, Denny Hamlin is going to pit and go a lap down, but here is how it's going to like play out in the longer run where it will still be him leading like towards the end of the stage and it will like work out for him. And I think that that's a very hard thing for me sometimes on short track racing because it's like eventually you're going to get to the point where there's like so much lap traffic. There's so many people like in so many different places, and their strategy gets quite confusing. And it was so cool. They made this like iRacing graphic where they're like, okay, this is what it looks like now. Now let's fast forward. This is what it's going to look like probably in 5 laps. And here's what it's going to look like by the end of the stage. And it was like, here's how the strategy will play out in the long run. And I was like, this is great motorsports commentary, because it's not helpful sometimes in the moment to be like, this is going to play out for Denny, I promise. It's like, can you show me how? I'm not quite understanding.
The broadcast did a really good job this week of like demonstrating the strategies. There was one, I believe it was like at the conclusion of stage 2, where they were like, okay, so now some drivers are going to pit 3 times, and some drivers are going to take a gamble where they're going to pit twice and then hope for a caution in the 3rd. And they like chunked them out and everything. And I was like, this is a beautiful visual representation. It makes much more sense to me than when you say numbers. Yeah. So much thanks to that. But we ended up stage 1 with Reddick winning. Wallace was right behind him. And then we had Hamlin and Austin Dillon behind them. It truly, for a hot minute, and by a hot minute, I mean like 2/3 of the race, seemed like we were going to have a 23-11 win.
At least a Toyota. Like, it's like there was some.
At least a Toyota.
Like, there was like some other times where they were like, it looks like it's just Toyotas are going to do really good today. And I was like, cool, great, love to hear it. Nah.
Yeah. No.
Fell apart.
That fell apart pretty quickly. We then had our other pit cycle where Denny Hamlin, what the frick was going on with him? He had, in a battle earlier with Tyler Reddick, he had kind of gotten up into the wall. And you know what they say whenever you get up into the wall? They always start saying this one trigger word, and they start talking about your toe link.
Dude, when I find out what the fuck a toe link is, I'm going to have to fight a lot of them. A lot of toe links have ruined my time as a fan.
I even know what a toe link is, and I still would never be like, man, it's probably a toe link. But it always is. Almost always, it is a toe link. If you have any issues, it's probably a toe link. So he comes into the pits talking about this possible toe link damage, and then he has just like a bad pit stop because they dropped the car. Sure, happens. Sure. And then he speeds. He speeds out of the pit lane. So it's like I can't even be mad at the pit crew for this slow pit stop, because it's like, you were going to start from the back anyways because you decided to speed on the way out. What are we doing, my guy?
Yeah.
Bless his heart.
They also, on that same like pit cycle, they literally were like, hey guys, we have some updates for you. Everybody got a penalty that was kind of doing well in this race. They were like, Allmendinger. I was like, fuck this guy. What is he doing? He got a penalty.
Allmendinger did.
And then
Elliott did.
What was his penalty for?
I'm so glad you asked. So it was called a vehicle interference. And when you look at the pit box like this,
I'm up here.
I'm gonna have to use my words. Yeah, because we're in the camera, and the camera was like up here looking down on the little box. And there's this orange line that's like coming into your box, kind of overlaps with the box right behind you. And so you cannot cross and cover that orange line if there is a car being serviced in the pit box behind you. There was a car being serviced in the pit box behind him, and he crossed that orange line. And so they said, you can't do that. One thing I love about NASCAR is like, I could have gone 20 years watching NASCAR having never known this was a rule. And Chase Elliott proved that, because he goes, I'm so sorry. I didn't know what I was supposed to do there. Like, I didn't realize that was going to be an issue. So, like, clearly there are too many rules in NASCAR. We got to figure it out. Because he was literally like, no, guys, I'm totally sorry. That was 100% my fault. I didn't, like, realize that was an issue.
Do you think that he was do you think he was like, I'm going to have to ask them later to clarify that rule, because it's too embarrassing to admit right now over the TV broadcast that I didn't know that was a thing. So I'm going to nicely say, sorry, my B, and we're going to have to figure that out later.
I'll come back to that. Hey, guys, will you mark down the timestamp on the TiVo so I can just go back and watch it? But he got a penalty, had to start from the back. That's okay. Everything's
I will say
okay.
This week I was having problems even identifying Chase Elliott. Can I just say he was in
this
random
gorgeous
teal car.
Like it was really one of the things I noted was that I really, really like the teal cars this race. It was him, and then obviously the buildsubmarines.com from BK.
Stunning.
And I was like, I don't know. I just think under the lights, there's something about a teal car that just
they're sparkling.
It does something for me. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I didn't recognize him. I was like, who is that? Who is that in that stunner? And it was Chase. But
it's Chase.
It's Chase. Oh, you're leading this. Sorry, might be.
That's all right. At this point, you texted me. I put in some of your text messages, like where you texted me. Like I wrote them down on my paper.
That's really
be like,
good.
Oh, this is like,
great.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make some content for the people. But at this point, you sent me a video of SVG, and you're like, this guy is the only car taking the top line the entire way around the track.
Every time, guys, I cannot stress enough, no one else was doing this shit. SVG literally looked like he was in his own little world. I thought he was doing it on accident. And then I was like, he's doing it like pretty dead on consistent every single time. He's taking the exact same line.
So comfortable. Yeah.
I was like, are you good up there? Like, I didn't know if you were allowed to go up there because I hadn't seen anybody else really do it on purpose. So I was like, are we good up there, or do we need to call for help? Like, what is SVG's comfortability with this oval right now? But then I remembered he's good at road courses, so he's probably good at short tracks.
Yep. We've talked about that before.
We've discussed.
We know you. Apparently, he did a lot of studying on Denny Hamlin to figure out how to do this court or this track. And as he was leaving the press conference after he admitted that, and Denny was walking in, he like stopped Denny and was like, "Hey, thanks for that."
Thanks. Well, you texted me that, and I thought, now why the fuck isn't Denny doing that right now? Then get your fucking ass up there. Get your fucking ass up there, Denny. SVG's fucking taking your shit right now and doing it better. It was also interesting because watching like him do it for a while, I do think I texted you this eventually, but I don't know if it made the cut. I noticed Ross started doing it. It's like somebody's chatting amongst Trackhouse be like, I don't know, Ross, have you tried whatever the fuck SVG's doing? Because I guess he's making up a lot of spots right now, so I would just maybe do that.
They were talking more on the broadcast this race about learning things from other drivers as they're driving, which I feel like we talk a lot about in IndyCar. It's like, okay, well, what can you learn from the other drivers? Mm-hmm. But they were talking a lot about being like, okay, well, what can we learn from this driver who's doing well on our team? So maybe, like, very truly, maybe they were just like, okay, well, this is working for SVG. Why don't you try it?
Yeah. But it was like kind of like a little duckling situation. Like you would see SVG and then like 2 seconds later, you would see like Ross like kind of duckling around the corner with him. And I was like, it's just y'all up there. You guys are in your own little world. Have fun up there. Be safe.
Hey, and it worked out. Okay, so at this point in the race, Priest leads for a little bit. Remember, he hasn't pitted yet, so he finally pits on lap 131. And then just like immediately, it just doesn't work out. He drops down to P15. He pits again, gets new tires. This basically, like at this point, we stopped talking about Ryan Preece, only to find out after the race that he finished in P35. What had happened there? Not Ross. Ryan? Oh my God.
I just like, I think like I need somebody from Ryan's team to speak up and speak out. What was the plan? Like what was the intention of the strategy?
The thing is, this strategy was favorable. Like it made sense. But the issue was, I think that car just could not run in traffic. Like the tire day, Goodyear, first of all, shout out to Goodyear, made these amazing tires that, oh my God, they were degrading. There was no like, do you think we could stay out a little bit more? It was like, I have to come in. Actually, right now, I'm going to have an accident if I don't come in. And I just think that there were some drivers who were really good at managing it and some drivers that just weren't. And unfortunately, I think that it just didn't work out for Ryan Preece. It also didn't work out for Carson Hocevar. There was literally one part, I should have texted you, when he came in and they were giving him new tires when he was on this like alternate strategy at the end. And the broadcaster was like talking about how Carson had said like, I don't really know how to save tires. I'm just going to go as fast as possible. And I was like, oh my God, it's Oscar Piastri last year is what that is.
I think when you first start it's funny when people like get to like the big league and whatever their motorsport is, and they're like, this kid has actually never actually had to think about tires before. And I'm like, what? Yeah. It never came up? Like, surely there's a way we could like introduce the topic to them a little bit before they get to Cup or Formula One or whatever, IndyCar. And they're like, nope, you just got to figure it out when you get there. I was like, okay.
They'll figure it out. They'll hang around one of the older guys long enough that it'll just like osmosis into them.
The Ryan Preece thing, it's just kind of sad. I wish he could have taken a little bit better advantage of the pole position. Don't
That's
turn into sad. Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, we'll talk about Chase Briscoe in a minute. The Denny situation is kind of sad because he would work his way to the top. He would be in the back from a dumbass mistake on pit road or a bad pit stop. He'd make his way to the top. He would pit. And then, oh my God, he has another slow pit stop. And I'm like, you know what? Stop showing me him.
You know what? I've seen this before. Colton Herta. He was Colton Herta.
Oh my God. They Colton Herted my boy.
Oh my God. I've seen this story before. I'm like, wait, who does this sound like? Somebody that could have won the race and then would like recover from just utter destruction that was done to them in pit road. But then it's like, you got to do it again, Colton. You got to go back down there. Oh, Denny. Dude. I'm sorry.
And this was also the incident where we had SVG and Stenhouse make contact. That was crazy. That we also didn't see it until like multiple laps later. You were like, SVG was hit. And I was like waiting for a yellow to come out. I was like, where was he hit? After rewatching the film, I think that maybe the blame can't be put where I want to put it. And so I think I'm not even going to talk about whose fault it was.
Well, I'll say that when I saw it in person, I didn't recognize Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or else I would have been way madder in the moment. I went, who the fuck is that green car?
I was that?
There were so many people in alternate costumes this week, guys. I genuinely was like, who the fuck are you? I don't remember half of your guys' numbers. I just know what you look like every weekend.
Yeah.
That is not Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And then you said, oh, it was Ricky. And I was like, fuck, he tricked me. He's in a different costume. I didn't even know that was him. Else I would have been way more mad. I would have probably booed. I would have booed from the stands, probably.
Oh, damn. But no, it did. It kind of just seemed like he was coming out quick and SVG was going, I don't know, racing incident. Who cares?
But nobody's fault unless it's somebody I want to blame. Duh. Next.
On the restart is actually where we get our first caution. And so I don't know what you saw when you were watching, but what we were kind of looking at was Ty Dillon was in front of Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez, who had just pitted, was on fresh-ass tires, is coming off a P7 last weekend, having a great time, absolutely elated with life. And then he has Ty Gibbs, obviously, in front of him, older tires. And it just looked like he was racing Ty Gibbs as if Ty Gibbs was going faster than Ty Gibbs was, ended up kind of getting into the back of him, bumping him. And unfortunately, we had our race leader trying to get by them.
just trying to win a race this year. Heaven forbid.
Yeah, dear Lord. In a open car, Tyler Reddick gets absolutely spun, damage to the car. Everything was bad. It felt all very bad.
I didn't see any of this. I was texting you about SVG. My friend, she literally tapped me on the shoulder and she goes, and she just, all she just gets out is, and she's just pointing and there's smoke. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? And then I was like, oh God, that's the race leader. What the fuck? And then you texted me.
Not the Chumba Casino
You
car.
said it might be Daniel Suarez. And I was like, Okay, so it was just a racing incident. Good to hear. It was probably just an oops. Nobody's fault, really.
Oops. God, I hate that Chumba Casino, dude. And the broadcaster's curse, this race specifically, was horrific. It was so bad because they went on and on about this Chumba Casino car. They kept going, well, I don't know if you know this, but do you remember what car Bubba was driving at the Brickyard 400? The Chumba Casino car. It's going to happen here for Tyler Reddick.
They were trying to indicate that something was good luck by saying it aloud on the broadcast. That's not how you do that.
The amount of times that I was watching them highlight Daniel Suarez, and then I would get a text from you that would go, I just saw Daniel Suarez's life flash before his eyes. And I'd be like, we have to get him off the screen. It happened with SVG too. I'm like, what are we doing? But
do you think maybe instead of a broadcaster's curse, it was me texting you curse?
Maybe. Yeah, actually, that's something we should think about. Speaking of text messages, at this point, I got a text message that I think it's fun to highlight, that you love watching the Choose V in person.
Oh my God, you see, like, you feel their hesitation more. Yeah, I mean, like, these little, you can see they really hesitate in front of it. They really, like, I think I'm going to go top. Yeah, I mean, it's like one at a time. Okay, I think I'm going to the bottom. It is like, we're going to do this for all of you guys? This is crazy. And it's like a short track too. So it's like they choose and then it's like they got to get fucking smushed together before they come back around to the restart zone. And you could see them like on the back stretch, they would like kind of wait for each other. Like they would almost come to a full stop because they're like, we gotta like wait for everybody to bunch up and these fuckers are taking way too long at the Choose V. So like the race leaders are already like to the back stretch. They're still waiting on these fuckers to pick top or bottom. But it was really fun. I loved it. It felt like a sorority bid day in a way. You know what I mean? They were just like,
they're like opening it and they're like, I got top.
Guys.
Ooh, that's crazy.
I'm a
top. I love that. I love that for NASCAR. That fits in. Fantastic news. If you guys were like, whoa, you guys just had a yellow, I sure hope you don't restart and immediately have another yellow. We restarted and immediately had another yellow, and you'll never guess who it was. It was Cody Ware.
Dude, can I say, I've never seen this much of this fucking man. There would be just some random car that would come down pit lane. I'd be like, who is that? Nobody else is pitting. Like, what is this person up to? And I'd be like, 51. 51? Fuck, I forgot you were here. Are you at all of these races? I've never seen you before.
They just refuse to show him at all on the broadcast. Like him.
Unless he literally crashes or spins. Then they're like, fine, which fine. Is if you want to see why there's
how he gets his screen time. So we get back out there. We do a little restart. And I know you're thinking, I sure hope that nothing crazy happens right after this restart. Well, you'll never believe it. But on lap 198, after the restart, we had a big wreck. I put it in all caps on the dock.
I'm going to need you to big wreck. There's a big one. It's the big one.
It's the big one. I was wondering, so are we only allowed to say big one at super speedways?
No. I think we should say it all the time. And I think honestly, like big one is like open to interpretation. Like it could literally just be like Joey Logano bumped into fucking Jesse Love a little bit. Oh, that's the big one.
Big one.
Just start using just start really like making the word like lose all meaning. Just really use it liberally and often. I rewatched the race
to this day.
I don't know what the fuck happened here. I'm gonna be honest. What happened?
I'll explain it.
Okay.
Here's what happened. There was a car in front of him. I don't know who was in front of him, but we had Briscoe, and then right behind him we had Busch, and Briscoe was kind of like coming down where there should have been a car length, and Busch just kind of hits him with his car.
Okay.
And so he turns Briscoe. Okay. Which then leads to like a pile up behind him. I think the worst off out of that pile up was Justin Haley, whose car absolutely accordioned. We did not talk about him at all on the broadcast. I did not know if he was okay for a hot minute, but I actually haven't seen him since. I assume he's okay, though. I think they would have said something.
Justin?
And then, Justin, if you're with us.
Give us a sign, Justin.
Give us a sign, Justin. No, I think he was fine, but his car was like hella crunched. But the reason we didn't talk about his car getting crunched was because after this wreck had kind of happened and it seemed like they were past the wreck, we had Kyle Busch, who was like running at the top, and we had Chase Elliott at the bottom, but like kind of moving up. And Kyle Busch kind of did this thing where he moved down into Chase Elliott and just hard sent him head on into the wall after the wreck had already happened.
To avoid the wreck he caused, he moved down.
No, because the wreck had already happened. They weren't near the wreck anymore. It was a second issue. Yeah, Kyle Busch hit the second wreck.
Wow. That's stunning that he did that, like both of them.
Crazy he just decided to take them all out. And like the broadcast felt very weird about it. Like, I could tell that they didn't really know what to say about Kyle Busch because they, of course, spent the first 10 minutes going, Kyle Busch does pretty well here. He had pretty good practice, pretty good starting. He's probably going to do pretty well here. And, like, he just Kyle Bushed.
That's like
2025 Kyle Busch.
No, he just be doing his own thing. I think that makes a lot more sense to me. In the post-race or in the post, like, medical center interview, Chase just was like, I thought we were done wrecking. He's like, I don't even know what happened. And I was like, okay, well, if he doesn't know what happened, then I don't need to know what happened. But like, he was kind of like, I thought we were done wrecking, and then I got wrecked. And I was like, okay. Seems like there was some confusion here. Kyle Busch thought they weren't done wrecking. He was going to do some more.
But he was like, I didn't spin Chase Briscoe enough. I got to get the other Chase now.
I could have to fuck both of them up in one go.
Kyle it's honestly Busch has hit the second Chase.
Dude. No, literally. Why? Literally. Why'd you do that? I don't. What is his problem?
You spun me out.
What were you thinking?
What are you doing?
I don't know. I don't feel like bullying him anymore. I've lost the energy for it.
It's getting so sad. And I restarted this season and I've been watching it. And like we should have known from the first race it wasn't happening for Kyle Busch this year.
He was doing it in Bowman.
He was literally doing the exact same thing at Bowman Gray. Anyways.
That's just short track racing.
We won't. That's just short track racing. Oh my god, the new NASCAR fans learned like 4 quotes.
We're like little Talladega Nights quote machines, you know what I mean? Like it's like we just know like the little one-liners, you know what I mean? But from real life Talladega Nights. That's just short track racing.
I get why people don't want us in this sport.
Anyways. Bubba.
We get
he was having a good time, right?
He was leading. He was doing super, super well. And boy, I hope nothing insane happens.
I hope that continues, and I hope that continues well on until the end of the race. I hope he has a good time and nothing bad comes his way. Can't wait to listen about the rest of this race.
All right. Okay, so stage 2 ends. Wallace obviously wins stage 2.
He's having a great time.
Suarez.
I texted you so many times, and I was like, "Can you tell me what's going on with Daniel Suarez? Like, why is he up in P2?"
Yeah, I kept saying no.
I was like, "Can you like tell me if there's like some sort of conversation happening on the broadcast about his strategy?" Like, no, they haven't said a single thing about Daniel Suarez. I don't think they're even looking at him. And I was like, she's fucking lying to me. There's something going on with Daniel Suarez.
And the times that they did talk about him, they were just like, "Oh, he's doing pretty good." Anyway, I'm just like, okay, do we know why? Why is he okay?
No, you got it. Like, you can't just say Daniel Suarez is in P2 and then not fucking explain it.
They would specifically go, with only so many races left in his career, as of now, they go, he's doing pretty well. And I'd be like, okay, just give him his flowers. You don't need to stomp on the grave while you're there.
Okay. Yikes.
So now we have our pit stops, and Bell wasn't in the top 10 at this point, so I don't know why I added it, but I'm going to. Bell has a slow pit stop. It's just another JGR issue. So now we have 2 of the JGR cars. Oh, 3 of the 3 of the JGR cars down.
Well, we didn't mention that Ty Gibbs had like a weird situation.
Well, that hasn't happened yet. Oh. But he did try to kill Tyler Reddick.
Okay, so I thought that might counting that? Okay, yeah. Okay, the JGR
I mean,
is
there
washed.
will be more to come. So like JGR is washed, and I mean, yeah, we will further solidify that later.
The Toyotas are done.
Get him out of the series. But this is where we start talking about the 2-stop versus 3-stop strategy. The broadcast sounded very hopeful about this 2-stop gamble. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm just curious to hear how they were hopeful about it because I didn't feel that hope emanating.
So, no, and I know I was trying to give you some hope, being like, no, they sounded really hopeful. So what the options were going to be were you could either like space out the last 3 pit stops to get you to the end of the race. Okay? That's what the scaredy cats were going to do. Those are the people who are afraid of whimsy. The people who are brave and resilient. I'm like crying, but it's simply, it's not to do with anything. But I am a little bit crying, just so you don't call me out for it.
They took a risk. And that is brave. Risk.
That the soldiers, the troopers, it's just Carson Hocevar, decide to do this 2-stop strategy where you take a pit stop a little bit later than their first. Like, essentially what you're doing is you're trying to have the 2 pit stops and then just praying for a yellow at the end where you can pit and get fresh tires, but nobody else can.
I have to say, least favorite gig that they do with Carson Hocevar is the pray for a caution. I've never liked the Carson Hocevar pray for a caution strategy. I feel like we do it often and it hurts every time. That's actually not a plan in my book. That's not a plan. You got to come up with a different plan.
Well, it could work out. We don't know that. Now Bubba's going to pit again. Guys, remember earlier when I said I sure hope nothing happens to ruin his race? Well, actually, this funny thing happened that has been happening to JGR, so maybe it just like osmosis its way over. And the front left was not fully put on when he decided to exit the box, which meant for a good portion of the pit road he was driving down, the wheel was following behind, kind of like a puffle. If you've ever played Club Penguin, that's kind of the situation that was happening. And then like some really magical thing that happened is they kept going, you have to get to the 19's pit box. You have to get to the 19's pit box. And I'm like trying to do math and I'm like, yeah, 19 might be on 2311 at this point. I guess I don't really know. But it was Chase Briscoe's pit box, and they ended up putting the tire on for him because they are Toyota teammates. And we saw this earlier. I think it was also with the 19's pit box where Christopher Bell needed one of his tires.
He's the secondary. If something goes wrong in your pit box, you can always stop by Chase's, and they'll fix it for you.
They're like friendly. That's so friendly of them. But I was like, I didn't know that was going to be a thing. Only Chase. Yeah, the other ones are like, do not go into my fucking pit box.
Not fucking touch my pit box. That's for me and me only. Those are my pit.
I don't care if I literally own your team. Stay the fuck out of my pit box.
Get absolutely fucked. No, but Chase Briscoe, like his pit crew is like, no. Yeah, anybody's welcome here. Come on in.
Yeah, it's really sweet.
It is.
But so that ultimately fucks up his race. And then Christopher Bell had a commit line penalty. Which also fucked up his race. That's where I don't know if could you hear things at the track? No.
Actually, it was horrible in that way. I just put in my little earplugs in.
Really?
It was just me and the sound of the cars that sound a lot like wave sounds if there's not a lot going on. And I was like, I'm about to take a stage 2 nap.
There's this like little orange box outside of the pit entrance, and so
this is different from orange line from above. This is orange box from front.
Yes. So when you see this orange box, I believe you have to be like decided you have pit before, like you have to already be going down, and it's at Richmond at a very weird place. And because you're going so fast and it's not like that much distance between this box and the pit lane, you have to slow down really fast. So like when they were trying to call Carson in the first time, he missed it. And so he had like started to commit, and then he was like, no, like we're going to get in trouble if I do that. I'm going to go out and go again. And so it was really funny because we talked through this whole entire thing. And then like a couple pits later, they're like, oh, Seabell just did that thing that Carson did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that was the last I heard of him. Amazing. Oh, and then this is after we have this pit violation, we have a little bit of a fire under Ty Gibbs's left front, which left front's cursed, apparently.
Brakes.
They were trying to decide whether it was like a brake issue that had started the situation or whether it was from so much tire dig that started the fire, and then he was having his brake issue, like a chicken and the egg situation. Regardless, they pulled him in. He was out for a few laps, and then I texted you and I was like, is Ty Gibbs out there? And apparently he was. So I
didn't even know he ever left.
Brought him back to life. Yeah, no, he was like full on out on the screen for a hot minute. But
this is the beauty of watching a race with no commentary. The race is whatever you want to watch at that moment, and I wanted to watch SVG fuck around on the top line a little bit more. I was still like, what is he doing up there? What is the plan?
This is oh yeah. Okay, so let's just finish off the Carson host of our pit strategy, whatever. He led for a little bit, couldn't maintain it. Other people were getting new tires. Even when he got new tires, he still wasn't able to get back to where he needed to be. So like ultimately the strategy didn't work out, ruined his race. That's that. And then you texted me that the stands were clearing out. And I was like, there's still 70 to go and we don't know who's going to win.
Okay. I do think that I think that in this race is too late at night. People were fucking tired. They'd been out in the sun all day. Chase Elliott was already out of here and he's a fan favorite.
I get that.
And I also feel like weirdly with this, I think that you need cautions for people in person to care about this race because it's like very hard to even follow what's happening with the race because there's so much lap traffic and stuff like that in the mix that like I'm just like, who the fuck is even racing each other right now? You know what I mean? It's really hard to even like follow. So I think like the casual fans are like, I think I'm gonna head out, beat the traffic.
That's fair.
But not me. I was clocked in. Yeah, I'm not a casual.
Clocked in. So 70 to go. Austin Dillon is leading. Least favorite Dillon, least favorite Austin. Huge news though. Blaney's right behind him, hot on his wheels. Hot on his wheels? That was good, Andrea.
No, that was good.
Instead of like hot on his heels? No, I get it. I respect it.
No, I'm just like
I'll get through this as fast as possible.
No. I'm still like, how did we allow this to happen? Like, it's like never in this did I think it was going to be Austin Dillon. And I just am like, somebody's got to stop it.
Well, I'll pull the Band-Aid off quickly. So essentially what was happening is we had Austin Dillon leading, Blaney right behind him. They were battling. We had some back and forth between them for like 15 laps. That was really exciting. Austin Dillon pits first, and we hear Blaney go, boy, I sure wouldn't want to stay out here a lot longer after he pits because he's going to have new tires, and I feel like that's really going to change the race. Foreshadowing. They pull him into pit in response, but it truthfully wasn't as early as they probably should have. Bowman then pits too. Bowman, who is running P3, and Blaney just comes out in traffic and could not manage the tires. He was pushing a lot more than he probably should have been for how much these tires were degrading. That's too bad. He wasn't able to like bring the gap down below 4 seconds between him and Austin Dillon. So then it's like, don't worry, guys. There's still a second hero in the wings, your knight in shining armor. He actually drives the number 48. Enter Bowman. So Bowman pops up and he's like, don't worry, guys. I'll just scooch on up there. And he's making time. Like his first lap, he took like half a second off. And then he just wasn't really taking any more seconds off. And we're all like, whoa, what is up? And as we're watching Bowman's onboard, we see this fuck-ass white WeatherTech number 88 who was racing him, would not get out of the way, like, whatsoever. Like, true, and he was doing a good job at racing, okay, but he's a lap down at this point. Like, I cannot express enough. Would not let Bowman by. I started to lose my mind a little bit. In the end, because of this traffic, Austin Dillon won.
No, and like the thing is that if it weren't SVG,
I know.
But I was like, he was having fun. You know what I mean?
Dude,
it's like he was having fun, Bowman. You never experienced that? He was running the high line, feeling alive. And he didn't want to stop because of you.
In the interview afterwards, when, you know, they were interviewing like the first loser, Bowman was like, I didn't realize I didn't have that many friends out there. He's like, I was surprised that no one was like letting me by.
No, why'd you tell me that?
And I was like, Frig, SVG, you seem so friendly, except for when you finally figure out the ovals. He's like, I'm a threat now, guys.
He wasn't trying to be mean. He's just like, he's kind of standoffish and a little weird sometimes. He was just having fun, Alex. I'm sorry. He didn't.
He's just a little weird.
He's just a little weird. He was like, just like, have you know what I mean? It's like the high line. It's like he was high off the high line. He couldn't.
He was high off the high line. He was doing a good job. So Austin Dillon wins.
What we should be doing is keeping an eye on that little fucking Jesse Love kid. There's another enemy here.
Jesse Love was in front of Bowman for like a hot minute, but I could tell that Jesse was trying to get the fuck out of there.
He's like, I don't even know where to go. Like SVG's like taking the high line. You know what I mean?
I don't know where to go. So Austin Dillon wins, and then as he is like doing his little whatever, talking, winning, whatever, he gives a fuck, he mentioned that he had a broken rib. He's like, yeah, no, I did this in the last race with a broken rib. And I was like, first of all, none of us care. Who are you? Adam, or is it Eve? I don't know. Nobody cares. And turns out
I didn't read that book.
It's been a minute. It's been out for a while. Oh my god, spoiler alert. But he admitted to falling off a ladder a couple weeks ago before the Iowa race because he was trying to get his bow down. And I was like, that's maybe you shouldn't be operating a bow if you can't operate a ladder, but that's neither here nor there.
That's like a bad story to tell. Like, as if, like, what are you trying to, like, it doesn't make you sound cool that you like won with a broken rib and then you tell us how you broke your rib. And I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
And it's also like you broke your rib like 2 weeks ago. It's like, I mean,
it's healed.
Connor Zilic is going to fucking win playoffs with a broken collarbone. You didn't see anybody making a big deal about that. Like, please, like, get over yourself, Austin Dillon. Like, a rib is like hardly important.
The energy that we have switched between like being like, no, the collarbone break is a serious thing and NASCAR doesn't care about it. And then we're like, oh, it's a rib. What does it even do? Protect your vital organs?
Like, how many like how many ribs do you have? Like, you have enough.
That's a great point.
Like, whatever the one rib can't do, the other ribs will just do for it. Duh. It just transfers the load to other ribs.
Yeah, the weight, like shit. It's like tectonic plates.
You guys want to get it. It's fine. Anyways, you guys want to understand.
So, and due to Kyle Busch taking out Chase Elliott, who this was his first DNF of the season, which is pretty crazy. William Byron wins the regular season.
Can I tell you, I had no idea that was... I was like,
I didn't know what happened until like multiple hours later when I just saw him doing, it was on like the Team Hendrick TikTok. No, he knows. He was filming a video. He's like, guys, I'm really excited. And I was like, why? You had a pretty bad race because remember you got wrecked out by Kyle Busch too. But
I'm so excited
he
to be
wins
here.
The regular season. But that's not the one that matters. The playoffs is the one that matters. So let's talk about.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like it.
Let's talk about the playoff picture. Also, no one's bitching about the fact that the 28th driver in points is now making it to the playoffs.
I am.
An in-year win. And I just think it's interesting because when SVG did it, everyone was mad because it was a road course. But this was an oval, and so it's fine. Interesting. Interesting.
I'll bitch about it. I think this is a fake race with a fake winner.
This one doesn't count. I can't wait until the penalties come out.
No, literally. I'm like, can we double check his car again? Triple check it. Fucking plant evidence and make it not pass tech. Somebody do something.
But all right, let's just quickly go over who's in the. Celine and Gracie, are you listening at this point? I'm going to tell you who's in the playoffs.
We're going to timestamp it. This is for the people that just decided to get into NASCAR. This timestamp's for you. We're going to tell you about playoffs and what the fuck is going down. Ready? Go.
We're going to tell you. Okay, so here are the drivers locked the hell into the playoffs. Denny Hamlin, SVG, Kyle Larson, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, that's insane, Austin Dillon. They're locked in, all right? Those are 14 drivers.
Real quick, from this, who do you think is fake winners, needs to change the playoff system from it? I'm feeling like...
Josh Berry for sure.
Okay, him. Okay. I'm cool with
Austin
like basic.
Dillon.
Yeah, I think all of these I'm cool with except for those last two. Anyways, continue.
Where did Austin Cindric win? I know he did. Was that Texas?
Talladega with the fucking...
Oh yes. Maybe that one we can take out too.
What?
Is the Speedway win? Do we count Speedway wins? Who's the other one who's won on the Speedway? It's just William Byron. Yeah, we should take that one out too.
No, but I like Austin Cindric. Can we just take out William Byron, or does that?
Sure. Yeah, I could be swayed, but he has multiple wins, so I guess that one doesn't really work either. Okay,
Where was
the one who just won? He just won.
Where?
What was the oval?
Did I fucking black? Oh, stupid race fake. Get rid of it. Take it off the schedule.
Race. Get rid of short ovals. Get rid of speedways.
The only short
road courses and intermediates.
Yeah, we're like the opposite side of that discourse. Everybody's like, yeah, I think we need more road and street courses and no more of these idiot short oval winners. I don't like them unless it's SVG, and then I'd be swayed because he's good at them because he's good at road courses.
So the final two spots, because those 14 are locked in. Final two spots, we have Tyler Reddick. Celine, are you listening? Tyler Reddick, who is up 89 points into the good. And then we also have Alex Bowman up 60 points into the good, okay? The people below the cut line is RFK. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's RFK, but a different kind of K. So we have Chris Buescher, who is 60 points below the cut line, and he was doing well this weekend too. Sometimes I feel bad talking about Chris Buescher because I just don't know if it's ever going to get any better. And then right below him, we have Ryan Preece, who is 94 points below the cut line, and then we have Kyle Busch, who is 148 points below the cut line.
What the fuck has he been up to? Have I missed something? Where is he getting
Am
these?
I wrong? No, I feel like I'm wrong because I also don't know why he's down there. I'll just double check real quick. No, he's right there.
Can you guys name what races did Kyle Busch do good at so I can go back and watch them? I'm like confused.
I think there's a couple. He has gotten top 10 a couple times. You want to know who's at the bottom?
Who's the last?
Cody Ware. Guess who's right next to last?
Riley Herbst.
Yeah. Rookie of the year.
I'm so good at this game. Run it back again.
You want to guess who's right above him? This actually like really works out very well for us.
Somebody else that I hate?
Yeah, I think if I told you his number, you wouldn't even know who it was. That's like,
tell me
how much we don't fuck with him. 41.
I don't know who that is. Eric Jones or some shit?
No, it's
Zane
worse.
Smith.
Worse.
Who?
I don't have any qualms with Zane Smith. Cole Custer.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
What? He's here too? Where have you guys been all season? Here? What do you guys do? What are you guys up to? I don't know.
I don't know.
I did feel kind of sad. I did kind of feel sad watching Riley get bullied, and then I'm like, he has to race next to his replacement for the rest of the race. I'm like, that's mental trauma, probably psychological warfare that they're doing on this man. They're like, you get to race next to Corey the whole time.
Well, if it makes them feel any better, I think Corey Haim's going to go to Spire.
Okay. I think 23XI has enough problems to deal with. They're probably not like thinking about their driver lineup.
Not looking about adopting anytime soon. Yeah.
No.
But that's all I got for NASCAR. Next week we will be in Daytona. It's also going to be a 7:30 p.m. race on Saturday.
I'm fine with the Saturday races.
Can I say?
I got so much done today because I didn't have to watch 7 hours of NASCAR.
Do you think that we're going to get a new winner next week?
It is Daytona.
Mm-hmm. You have to say now, do you think we're going to get a new winner next week?
Yes.
Okay.
Do I have to say who?
No.
I don't have a who.
No.
I do think we will, because I feel like the in the mix guys now that are like 6 and back are different than the in the mix guys last time we were at Daytona. Like I think William Byron won't be in the mix. I think he'll be up further ahead. So my hope is that Cole Custer works his way to the front, does some like fuck shit near the end, and then somehow, some way, Ryan Preece wins Daytona. Oh, wait, but Ryan Preece does not like Daytona. Does not like Ryan Preece.
But maybe it'd be a good storyline. Maybe it'd be a good storyline.
Ryan Preece survives Daytona.
Survives and thrives.
Thrives Daytona.
I think we will not get a new winner. But I think between like all these like playoff bubble type people, like you might see some desperation, I think, from a Chris Buescher or a Ryan Preece.
Yeah.
I also think that like there's a little part of me that thinks I still don't think we're going to get a new winner, but I think we're going to get some drama. I think that somebody who is fully out of the playoff picture, who has been, you know what? I'm thinking this is the week where Carson Hocevar decides I'm really about to make somebody punch me in the face. Like I think I'm talking like I think it's going to be like somebody's going to do something stupid as shit trying to win this race.
He's sitting 23rd. What if he wins? Win and you're in. You know where Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is sitting? 28th.
Well, he would have been better had Carson not taken him out of every top 10 he's had this season.
Yeah, had Carson not ruined every single race that he has.
Yeah.
Including the ones he ruined on his own volition. Interesting. Do you have a fan favorite for this week?
I think my fan favorite for this week is, you know what? I'll say it. I think Ty Dillon. I think that he was entertaining the crowd very well at the fan experience. And that's what I'm basing this off of, because I was, a fan favorite is born and raised in the fan experience stage. Okay. And they have some real interesting characters that go up there. We had a whole Cole Custer segment. I don't know what was really happening during it. They just have some weird faces that go up there. And I think that Ty Dillon really shined, and he shows that he has more charisma than these other backmarkers. You know what I mean? He was interacting with the crowd. He was joking with the host. He was joking. He was making sassy statements. He was fan favorite material.
I think my fan favorite of the week, I think the not low-hanging fruit, I think the easiest one would be to say Ryan Preece, but because I say Ryan Preece all the time, I think it's only fair that I give Daniel Suarez his flowers because he's been having a pretty good run recently. He finished P7. I don't know how.
Right.
But I was excited. I'm excited about it. Also, SVG got
Daniel
P14.
Suarez win. Daniel Suarez win at Daytona. Daytona is just like Atlanta if you squint a little.
Did he win at Atlanta?
Last year.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's his
Daniel
thing.
Suarez won at Daytona.
That's his thing, is that he won in Atlanta. you got to know that's his thing.
You're right. Okay, Daniel Suarez win at Daytona.
Fuck it. That'll shake things up.
Fuck it. Daniel Suarez. And then he goes on to win the playoffs. Him and SVG.
And that will be that'll be the last year we'll ever have NASCAR playoffs. I think if that were to happen, they would finally be like, you know what? We'll reconsider it. You're right. This is a weird ass fucking system.
I think that's the mentality that NASCAR fans need to have. All the NASCAR fans who are pissed at the playoff format, pissed at SVG for being able to make it into the playoffs on road courses, they should be like, I need SVG to win, because if SVG wins this, then I think that'll finally get NASCAR to be like, okay, maybe the playoffs, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we were wrong about the playoffs. Okay, yeah, sometimes we're wrong.
I think that every year the playoffs provide such a palatable winner that they're able to like get away with it. You know, like it's like, even though we know Joey Logano didn't do very well in the regular season, he did do pretty well in the playoffs. So it's like they hope you just get amnesia and you forget about how bad the regular season was for him. But we need somebody who is like barely scraping by every single level of the playoffs to like somehow be in Phoenix, and then they just give him a fucking rocket ship of a car, and then they're like, we gotta do something about this because this is insane. I think that's the only thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to happen now, guys.
I was gonna tell you on this episode real quick before we end. I've decided how I think I would love for the playoffs to be, which is I think that the idea is interesting. I've been swayed by the theory that the playoffs wouldn't be so bad if instead of it being win and you're in, the 16 that go to playoffs should just be whoever the top 16 are in the regular season points.
Yeah.
Like it's like okay, now argue with the fucking wall. You can't even say that these people didn't do well during the regular season because they were the top 16. Yeah.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Okay.
How is that different than just watching like every other race in the season? Aren't the top 16 runners usually going to be the top 16 in every race?
Top 16 runners.
You know, because if you're making it in the top 16 on points, you've had a consistent year. It's like that actually goes against everything the playoffs stand for, which is not about who the best driver is. It's about entertainment. And you know what's entertaining? Why the fuck is Josh Berry here?
No, I know. But like then you keep the chaos. Like it's like, okay, getting into the playoffs is like straight and narrow by the book, the top 16. But I still think in the actual playoffs, you would still have the drama of like people getting cut because like they had like a DNF or some shit at one of the races. And then it's like everything could still go to shit on like who makes it to each round of the playoffs. But it would be like baseline acceptable to the masses who was in that top 16.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if William Byron won the regular season championship, he would obviously like be in playoffs, but like that doesn't mean that William Byron would still win the playoff championship because he's like,
yeah. I think if the playoffs were for the purpose of figuring out the best winner, then I think that's the way like you would go, like hands down, top 16. But it's clear that the playoffs have never been about racing. It's like it's an entertainment thing. Like, to be fair, the playoffs is what got me into NASCAR.
Yeah, that's the thing. We wouldn't be talking about NASCAR probably on this podcast.
No,
we're a little entertained.
Didn't get us into NASCAR because we were like, that's a really good idea. They're executing it really well. This is very fun to watch. Or like, this feels nice to watch. We got into it because we're like,
what the fuck do you mean?
Sorry, why does NASCAR have the playoffs? You know?
Why are we doing the cutoff race at the Roval? What's going on here?
It's like, yeah, not only did we watched like the end of the season, and then we learned that one NASCAR has overtime. That was crazy. And then they were like, oh, we're going to go to the Roval. Okay, so I'm learning now that we turn right, like we do road courses here. And then they're like, oh, here's the thing. Wait till you hear about the playoffs. So I think if the playoffs were for the purpose of like deciding a winner, then yeah, no, what you're saying makes like exact sense. It's very clear to me that NASCAR doesn't give a flying fadoodle about that, and that we're more going for like a Bravo TV show. Like, this is just a plot for full speed.
Is it? I'm in a tough spot because it's like I do really, really, really love NASCAR. I think it's entertaining to watch because it's like I'm not an old-timey NASCAR fan. But 100%. Then I'm like, I think that's why we can find a little bit of the humor in it. I do get why some people have lost their minds over this because I'm like,
100%.
If they did like tweet out like, hey, what's up? We're doing this in IndyCar now. I would be like, okay. So is there like a particular building that we're storming or like what's going on? Like,
right.
What's going on? Like, I get why people have lost their mind about it. I'm going to try better not to like, as I'm hitting like the 1 year anniversary of being a NASCAR fan. And I think something I want to work on is I want to try better on not bullying people that just get mad about the playoffs all the time, because I'm starting to understand maybe where your anger might be coming from.
I don't know.
It is entertaining though.
My thing is like, how mad can I get before they do something? And I think the answer is that limit does not exist. They're never going to do something if I'm mad. So like, in my opinion, like I'm officially 1 year a NASCAR fan. My opinions on the big three, on the playoffs, the car, and stage racing is just like,
have at it.
I don't know. What do you like? There's truly nothing I can do. I understand this car sucks. I come from F1 where it's like sometimes I watch a race weekend and I'm just like, yeah, no, there's not going to be any racing this weekend because that's how the cars are. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like sometimes it's just not going to be good. So I'm already out on that one. Playoffs, that got me into the sport. Okay, sounds good. Okay. Stage racing, I wouldn't know when I can go get a snack if it weren't for stage racing.
Built-in bathroom breaks. That's important sometimes.
So it's like, but I'm also like, I think it's very clear that we're watching NASCAR from like aren't we having fun, guys? Like, isn't this all fun and exciting? So I don't think we're ever going to be the people to like bitch about the playoffs until obviously Austin Dillon gets in. And now we're like, well, change the playoff system.
If you guys didn't have Josh Berry and Austin Dillon in there, then who is going to go out in the first round of playoffs?
Exactly.
It's like, you got to have some people to feed to the wolves. You got to have some people that don't belong there.
What if it wasn't a top 16? What if it was only like a top 12? Would we still be having this conversation? Because then we'd have enough play in your ends for it to be points.
You would have people fighting for like more wins.
Yeah. So then, and then we wouldn't have to do the weird, like, what is it? 3 races, 3 races, 3 races, 1 race. We could do like 3-3-3 or something.
No, I think they have to have the 1. I think that's important to them.
I don't like that. Supercars doesn't do that.
Superior playoff format. I think that the one is the thing that I've always been like, okay, this is pretty fucking stupid. Like, what do you mean? Yeah. We're just going to do this 1? Because it's like, if they have like a mechanical issue or some shit, it's like, sorry, glad you made it this far in the playoffs, but you're done now.
We did more work deciding the seeding for the in-season bracket tournament than we allow for the final race of the playoff system, which is kind of crazy. Whatever. I mean, if that's what NASCAR wants to do, I can't wait for Joey Logano to win it all again this year. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I think it's like, whatever Penske makes it to the Final Four, congratulations.
Congratulations, you did it. We'll have to do like a bracket.
Okay. Can we revisit in the next couple weeks something that you and I can do maybe as like a side project? I need to figure out what the fuck is going on with those Penskes at Phoenix. Like, we don't have to worry about it now because it's so far away, but I'm like, what do you mean? Like, they just win every time. Like, I'm just like, what's going on there?
It's a short track, isn't it?
I don't know.
Because I think that's like the same weekend, like the same way we had like all 3 Penskes in the top 6 this weekend. It's like, that's just going to be
It's unsettling to me. Although we did decide that if Austin Cindric can just make it to the Final Four, that he'll win.
Yeah, I sure would like to see that. I think that would change my opinion on the playoffs, period.
You know what? Maybe we should
on everything, actually.
Maybe we should stay at Phoenix for the last race. I don't know. I'm like warming up to the idea. I'm like looking at some toasty brown eyes behind a tortoiseshell glasses, and I'm thinking maybe it stays in Phoenix. I don't know.
Keep it in. Oh, that reminds me. You know that little promo that we like so much, where they're like playing pool together.
Yeah.
Ryan Priest was, they like clipped him out of it. They had like special shots of him because he was doing so well. And his shirt says "Fun Haver" on it.
That was even asked of him to wear. He just had it. He was like, "I want to wear this."
Yeah, he's like, "What? Can I wear my Fun Haver shirt?" I couldn't see the back of it, but I was like, "Oh, I will be heading to your merch store to see if that is something that you guys have, because I will be purchasing that." I just wanted you to know.
No,
all this Austin Cindric talk made me think about someone else I find really charming and endearing.
Yeah. Do we want to call it a podcast episode?
I don't know what else we would call it.
Well, we had a good time. Lapsdown is so back, guys. It's playoff season for NASCAR. Lapsdown is so back. And we will catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.